To the audiences, live conversations, and trusted influencers you need to grow. If you're a marketer, go to iHeartAdvertising.com.
Now here's your chance to win $1,000. Just enter this nationwide keyword on our website. Credit. That's credit. Enter it now.
Bengals training camp. The Tony and Mo football show is there, bringing you the orange and black like never before. Thanks to A.E. Door and Window, O'Connor, Achani, and Levy, and Omega Wealth Private Capital. We'll be huddled up in the airport paint and body broadcast area. Hear training camp as it happens tomorrow at 10 a.m. on ESPN 1530, the official home of the Cincinnati Bengals.
Cannot wait for that. Tomorrow morning, 10 o'clock, day one of training camp. Tony and I broadcasting. It's going to be a blast. Tomorrow, Thursday, Friday, and then at various points between now and the end of camp. Cannot wait. Good afternoon. I'm Mo Egger. This is ESPN 1530. Thank you for listening. Hope you're having an awesome Tuesday afternoon. Reds are trying to claw back. They were down 4-0 after a Kyle Manzardo grand slam off Chase Burns in the first. Edwin Arroyo just drove in a run. It is 4-3 in favor of the Guardians. First game of a split doubleheader. The Ohio Cup Reds need to at least split the 6 games in the Ohio Cup this year to retain the Ohio Cup. They lost 2 out of 3 to Cleveland earlier this year, but all they need to do is win 3 out of 6. And because they won it last year, they'll keep it. It's 4-3 Guardians. Reds still batting in the bottom of the 4th inning. Slade Cecconi has just been pulled. We will certainly keep you up to date as the afternoon unfolds, give you instant reaction from game 1 at GABP. Full show preview is available on Twitter at Mo Egger. Watch it now. Thanks to Sharefax Credit Union. Become a member at any Sharefax branch or learn about the benefits of membership at sharefax.org. It's Tuesday, which means Paul Dehner Jr. is here from The Athletic and the Growler podcast, and it's good to have you.
It's good to be here. I feel bad.
Why?
I hate taking – we're going to talk Bengals a lot here.
Yeah.
As you might imagine. I hate to take attention away from the Cup.
It's tough.
It's when you have so much on the line and when you know the Cup is in the building.
You could feel it.
Yeah. You can – I sensed it in the city today. I was like, it felt different.
There was a nervousness, a pensiveness.
The Cup's on the line, and you just want it. You want to win it. And it means something.
And the rain out last night, all it did was just built the drama. That's why I sort of feel like, down there, they were really happy to not have a game last night because – today is one of the most consequential days in Ohio Cup history. 2 Ohio Cup games in one day.
Can we do that? Actually, maybe last segment, let's rank the most consequential days in Ohio Cup history. Should we? It's
probably not going to be a very long segment, but we can try. we can definitely try. It's funny. I was listening, and Tommy and Jeff Brantley were talking about the Ohio Cup. And Tommy said to Jeff something along the lines of like, I bet you've seen most of those Ohio Cup games. And Jeff said, well, there's a difference between seen and remember. And I think Jeff speaks for us all.
I think that's fair.
4-3 Reds, bottom of the 4th inning at GABP. It's training camp eve.
It is.
Mock Turtle Soup Day was yesterday.
Yes.
On Saturday, I was on a bourbon distillery tour in Augusta, Kentucky.
Okay.
And there was a guy who works at the distillery part-time who, as we were having a post-tour beverage, listens to the show, listens to the Growler podcast.
Okay.
Was telling me about his Bengals fandom. They go from Augusta, which is not the longest drive, but from Augusta to Cincinnati for every home game. And he told me that on Mock Turtle Soup Day, the night before, his wife makes mock turtle soup.
Wow.
And he takes it to work the next day for lunch.
Wow.
That is a level of commitment. You can forget these other people.
Yeah.
Bengal Jim, the captain, great guys. This is the new super fan. This guy is eating mock turtle soup voluntarily for lunch. So this is the work of you guys on the Bengals beat who have made this such an event that now you have dudes who are like, I want to play along. His wife makes mock turtle soup.
I love it.
He takes it to lunch the next day and has for the last couple of years.
I mean, I am in love with this. This is where you would start
Yeah.
with your fan of the year application.
This is
Like,
it.
If this is what you want,
This is it.
it's just actually you don't say anything.
Right.
It's just a picture of you with like the date, and it's you eating the mock turtle soup the whole time. I think that's as real as it gets.
And I said to him, do you like mock turtle soup? And he made the Andy Dalton face. You know how with Andy Dalton, whenever you asked a question
we spent
about
a
him,
decade discussing
we
the
did.
Andy Dalton face.
He made a face. You would make a face before an answer, and the face told you more than the answer. He made a face. And he's like, it's okay.
Yeah.
I'm like, look, man, just root for the team. You don't have to do this.
No.
Or find a soup that you enjoy. No, he's like, it's mock turtle soup day, man.
It's the beauty of mock turtle soup.
I
Mo.
think this guy should be invited to mock turtle soup day.
I agree. I hope that there will be another mock turtle soup day. Things are changing.
Things
now.
are changing.
You never know what will happen next.
Yeah.
But I will say that's the beauty of mock turtle soup is you would never, absolutely never eat it any other day of the year.
Well, I'm not eating it that day. Don't worry about it.
But that's what makes it special.
Yes.
One day, at one point in time, it signifies a moment. I'm going to have 5 spoonfuls of mock turtle soup, and I'm okay with it. I'm not against. A lot of people are very much against. I'm not against.
Well, I am. And this gentleman, again, I hope yesterday.
Shout out. That is awesome.
He works at the distillery part-time, does tours, tends bar, stuff like that. But his main gig yesterday, he enjoyed, reheated, I would imagine, mock turtle soup.
Love
So
the
there we are.
dedication.
You wrote about yesterday, and it's free for all if folks want to read it at theathletic.com. I do want to spend a few minutes on Mike Brown not being available yesterday,
Absolutely.
which made all the sense in the world. He is 91 years old. And I try to be delicate about this because I don't want to come off as an ageist. Certainly there are folks who are 91 years old who have all of their faculties, and I'm sure could handle in real time questions being thrown at them in front of cameras and microphones. But for the most part, that doesn't strike me as a setting conducive to allowing a 91-year-old person to succeed. And so not having him in that environment made sense to me. My question is, are we done publicly hearing at all from Mike Brown?
I don't have an answer for you on that. And I don't know that they do. There's a couple of different things here. One, we've seen this year their movement to sort of a new structure and setup of how we see and hear from members of their front office, and whether it was the AGMs, whether it was Duke's changed schedule, Katie's change, like all of that has changed. Title change for Elizabeth, for Caroline, like we've just the change in the structure there has been notable this entire offseason. So this falls in line with that. Now, the thing is, Mike loves this event. Like it's the only reason it still exists.
Right.
And he also, I think, contrary to maybe popular belief, loves the local media. Like I have always gotten the impression he really enjoys these conversations. He enjoys talking to us. I don't know. Maybe I'm wrong, but I've always certainly gotten that impression from him. And so I don't think it's a thing where like he doesn't want to. It's just like you said, it's not really the spot anymore conducive to doing that. But that doesn't mean that there aren't still opportunities or something that could be created, or maybe it's just, and this happens a lot with a lot of people in his position, where one-off stories here or there, he's happy to weigh in on for somebody that they feel like is a worthwhile story that he wants to talk about or that you can request.
Right.
Like maybe it's just a buy request thing. Honestly, I don't know. The thing about it is, it was always about, it felt like that was really for a long time. I wrote this is my 17th mock turtle soup, but like that was the only place you could really get accountability. Like that was the horse's mouth, and there really wasn't another horse necessarily. That's just not the case anymore. I mean, we've had all these different touch points with Katie and with Duke and with everybody else that I think it's felt like we're hearing the answers. We're able to ask the questions and get the answers that matter back.
Right.
So for that reason, there's not a reason to have necessarily push for it. But I don't know. It's a long way of saying I don't know. I don't know what happens next, other than this just is where that landed in this moment.
Yeah, my question was sort of based on his age, not being available yesterday, yesterday's venue typically being the only real availability.
Yeah.
And the fact that over the years, Katie Blackburn has taken on a more front-facing role, Elizabeth as well. Duke Tobin this offseason was more available than ever before. And again, like, maybe a lot of fans don't care. I think the dynamic is interesting. And I just, my question yesterday was, man, makes total sense. They're not going to have Mike talk. Is this the last time we hear from him? And if so, like, kind of okay with that.
It's okay.
As long as there is transparency and insight being provided by others.
We've sort of seen, I mean, really waves of this over the last 15 years. It's been gradually moving out of doing certain things, whether it is the ascension of Katie or Duke or whoever, and then he wasn't going to the league meetings. And then there's sort of been waves of you seeing him sort of pulling back. We know internally he's pulled back from a lot of the day-to-day stuff he was doing, but the thing is, he's still very much there.
Yeah.
Like, he's there at every practice. He's still involved. He still knows what's going on. And I'm always amazed every year he'll get up and he did again yesterday, give out the Paul Brown High School Coaching Excellence Award, and gave it out yesterday to Anderson's coach. I mean, he'll get up there and rip off all of these facts that maybe he just read them off of a fact sheet an hour ago and recall details from the conversation he just had, know everybody. I'm like, I don't know that I could do that. Like, he does it every year. His recall, he's still so sharp. Like, it's not, that's not what this is.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Right.
And I think that's the important thing about it. But yeah, I think it's just, to me, this whole thing is just the latest level of evolution of sort of the organizational structure. That's, it's just working out the family dynamic and how it all fits and how they should be publicly.
How would you describe the taste of mock turtle soup?
So it's got like a hint of Skyline to it for a minute. Okay. Like a quick, you're like, oh, familiar. And then another taste kind of comes in.
Okay.
You got the egg sort of makes a brief appearance, and then you're not sure what's happening. And then there's a second wave. That's I think where people struggle.
How would you describe the second wave? What words
I don't think I should.
Would you put together to describe the second wave of flavor?
I just think there's a little bit of a reflux.
Oh,
maybe
that sounds amazing. That sounds appetizing.
A little kickback, maybe we'll call it. That kind of comes up.
There's a difference between kickback and reflux.
Yeah, I don't know.
No?
I mean, I don't know that these are details that are necessary.
All you guys do for 48 hours is talk about mock turtle soup. The least. At the very least, you could let people know what it tastes. I told this story.
Have you ever read the ingredients description? I think Doc wrote it one year, and we all were like that.
There's cow's brains in it.
Yes,
I'm good.
I think that's what you need to know about what happens on the second wave.
But if somebody's into eating like wild game, I'm never going to eat it, but I am interested. Like, well, what does it taste like? And so I feel the same way about mock turtle soup.
I think so maybe if you took something like a hearty chunky soup that you don't love, but you covered it up with a touch of eggs and Skyline on top, a sprinkle of that, tried to cover it up.
Okay.
I think that's probably
why not just
a basis.
pour pancake syrup in it or something? I mean, if we're trying to cover up flavor.
I mean, at this point, once a year.
This to me is like sort of the point though, that yesterday at Mock Turtle Soup, the star of the show might have been Mock Turtle Soup. Because there's nothing else.
Yeah,
all the other stuff that matters starts to unfold tomorrow.
Yeah. This is it. I said this on the podcast today with Charlie. That was, in 17 years, the most boring mock turtle soup I've ever covered.
It's been the most boring last 2.5 months ever, and that's great.
It's great.
It's great.
It all sort of spilled over where these same themes. The camp is actually going to be about the football.
Football. Yes.
We can do that.
Football.
That's allowed.
It's nice.
So yes, the camp is going to be about the football. I think there's a lot of interesting things happening from a football perspective. They just haven't really changed a lot since the day that Dexter Lawrence showed up.
Right.
That leaves us to now where you're like, okay, well, let's see it all play out. But in terms of the normal stuff that typically fills that day, it's all buttoned up, all taken care of. Nobody's got any issues. There was no contentious topics that had, been untalked about.
That's why today is the most I've ever asked you about the mock turtle soup.
We
Typically,
finally have time to get
it's a
into it.
footnote or I don't even mention it. Today, because there's nothing else, and this is a credit to the offseason they've had, the Star mock turtle soup.
Mock turtle soup. The star was the sherbet. The star is always the orange
Sherbet's
sherbet.
good.
Nobody talks about the sherbet at the end.
Mm-hmm.
They put a little chocolate stick in there with it. You can scoop. I mean, that every year is the reason. It's really the reason you're there.
It's not the soup.
That gets the name. That draws the headlines. But truly, if you actually care about the meal, and I know no one listening still does.
I got to go back to Augusta. Find this dude and say, yeah, but is there a dessert and is it orange sherbet?
Yes, with the chocolate stick.
20 minutes after 3 o'clock. All right, well, we'll actually talk about the football that's going to take place starting tomorrow. Paul Dehner Jr., theathletic.com, and the Growler podcast. 5-5, Guardians and Reds, top of the fifth inning. Cleveland batting, obviously, at GABP. It's 20 minutes after 3 o'clock. I'm Mo Egger. Glad you're with us today on ESPN 1530 Cincinnati Sports Station.
Cincinnati's ESPN 1530. Traffic.
From the UC Health Traffic Center, the UC Health Women's Sports Medicine Program provides specialized care for female athletes at all levels. Schedule an appointment online at uchealth.com. One crash on Hamilton that's over south of Chase Avenue, and there's also an injury accident on Reading Road at Section Road. Traffic right now moving slow on southbound 75 from the Lockland split to Paddock Road, and some stop-and-go traffic southbound 75, Western Hills Viaduct to Fort Washington Way. I'm Eddie Zellick with traffic.
This report is sponsored by the Blizzard Double Flip Deal at Dairy Queen. The only thing better than grabbing a Blizzard treat on a warm, sunny day would be snagging a second one for just 99 cents with the Blizzard Double Flip Deal. It's buy one Blizzard treat, get another one for just 99 cents only when you order on the DQ app. DQ, happy tastes good. For limited time at participating U.S. locations.
If you have a 2, 3, or 4% mortgage rate, don't refinance it. You don't have to, but you can still get cash out of your home. Introducing Loan Pronto's zero-cost equity loan. Mo Egger here. That's right. With Loan Pronto, you can get all the cash you need without touching your first mortgage and without any fees. One local homeowner just got $100,000, paid off all their credit cards, paid off their existing HELOC, remodeled their kitchen, and saved over $1,500 per month. It gets better. There's no hard credit pull up front, usually no appraisal, no long drawn-out process. And listen, no closing costs. You may even be able to skip your next 2 house payments. So call Loan Pronto now. Leave your low-rate mortgage intact, but get the cash you need in as little as 2 weeks without paying closing costs. LoanPronto.com. See how much cash you can get right now. 513-800-1550. That's 513-800-1550. LoanPronto.com. For qualified homeowners, equal housing lender, NMLS 1661781, NMLSConsumerAccess.org.
Hit the gas on your summer with Bonus Bucks.
Yeah! Are you serious?
Imagine $1,000 and free gas in your tank.
Yeah, it's gonna take every penny to fill up my RV.
The winning happens every weekday.
Mel's Auto Glass is the clear choice for auto glass repair, replacement, and recalibration. Call Mel's first at 513-563-7771 and let Mel's handle the details. Family owned for 38 years, Mel sends certified technicians right to you. Mel's Auto Glass.
Hi, guys. This is the Rocket Roger Clemens. You don't pitch in the majors for 24 years without feeling it later. Shoulders, elbows, knees. Trust me, pain doesn't retire when you do.
That's baseball legend Roger Clemens.
I tried the ice. I tried rest, PT, nothing really worked. When I heard about QC Kinetics, the concept sounded promising. Non-surgical regenerative treatments that help your body heal itself without surgery. Sign me up, just what I needed, real lasting relief.
Whether you're a former pro, a weekend golfer, or just want to walk around pain-free again, QC Kinetics uses cutting-edge technology and natural biologics to help restore and repair damaged tissue.
I trusted them with my joints. Now I'm back doing what I love.
Call QC Kinetics today and schedule your free consultation.
Call QC Kinetics, 513-847-0019. That's 513-847-0019. 513-847-0019.
When employers like 700 WLW and Cintas choose Delta Dental of Ohio, employees can access the nation's largest selection of individually contracted dentists, and they get the care they need from the dentist they prefer.
This is Jennifer Mueller, Vice President of Human Resources at Cintas. We believe in offering our employees the best in benefits, and that's why we offer Delta Dental coverage.
Delta Dental, building healthy, smart, vibrant communities for all. DeltaDentalOH.com.
Someone had a birthday.
Yep, 50. Can't believe it.
50 years of wisdom.
Great segue. We have a health reminder from the CDC.
Pneumococcal vaccination is recommended for adults 50 or older. Says here, we're over 6 times more likely to be hospitalized with pneumococcal pneumonia than adults under 50.
I don't love those odds.
Same. Look what I found. Pfizer's Prevnar 20 is proven to help protect adults against pneumococcal pneumonia and invasive pneumococcal disease in just 1 dose, and millions have already gotten it.
Continued approval may depend on a supportive study. Don't get Prevnar 20 if you have a severe allergy to its ingredients. A weakened immune system may lower your response. Common side effects include injection site pain and swelling, fatigue, headache, muscle, and joint pain. For full prescribing information, please call 1-855-213-2138. Visit Prevnar20.com or talk to your doctor or pharmacist.
I'm on Prevnar20.com now, scheduling my appointment.
Good idea. And happy 50th.
My Lowe's Pro Rewards members, save big during Lowe's Pro Savings Days. Get your member volume discount plus an extra 5% off eligible orders with a quote of $2,000 or more. And buy more and save more with up to 20% off in-stock molding when you spend $250 or more. Members get more at Lowe's. Valid through 7/31. Exclusions, more terms, and restrictions apply. Can't be combined with any contract or special pricing. Loyalty program subject to terms and conditions. Visit the Pro Desk or Lowe's.com/terms for more details. Subject to change.
WCKY Cincinnati, an iHeart radio station. Guaranteed human. ESPN 1530.
iHeart Radio.
26 after 3. This is ESPN 1530. Mo Egger. Paul Dehner Jr. is here from The Athletic and the Growler podcast. It's training camp eve. Paul will have Bengals training camp covered at both those places and on his socials as well, at Paul Dehner Jr. How easy or hard is it relative to most years to predict the 53-man roster?
It's probably a little harder because for a different reason. I think this year there's just more candidates to make the roster. I mean, in last year, you'd be like, these guys all have to make it.
Little bit more 90-man depth.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, I would say, you probably, most years would be like, maybe some years you would say there's 40 players you can count on or something. This year you might be in the 50 to 60.
Okay.
Where you're feeling pretty good about.
So on cut down day, there could be some dudes who are coveted by other teams. Yeah.
Yeah. Potentially. Right. We say that a lot and then nothing
never really happens. Yeah.
So I don't know. And things change, but I think that there is more this year at some positions than there is typically. And so that'll make it a little bit harder, a little bit more interesting. We'll be talking a lot probably at the end of August about the idea of dealing from depth, or who will make it, who could you get through to a practice squad amongst some names that are familiar. And so that will be probably the difference, this year as opposed to last year. All the intrigue surrounded starters, guys shoved into the starting rotation.
Yes. Yeah.
Between Shamar Stewart and Demetrius Knight and Dylan Fairchild and Jalen Rivers, and like all those guys were like shoved into the starting rotation. Now you're going to have some picks where you're like, are they going to make the team, or what's going to happen? Where will they land on the depth chart? That's more of the conversation this year. Whereas you just feel a lot better about your top 25, if you will.
At which position is the bottom of the depth chart flimsiest?
Corner. We've been talking about this a lot. It is the concern of this team right now is everything behind Dax and DJ. I just don't know what any of it is. We're talking about Jalen Davis, and DJ Ivy got name checked 3 times yesterday as like, hey, Al Golden said, we tell these guys all the time, master your role. And he mastered his role last year. He had 115 snaps. He's barely played in his career. They've all been encouraging, and that's fine. Like, DJ Ivy deserves a chance, but what do we really know? And the same thing about Takario Davis. He's a 3rd-round rookie. What do we really know? Even Jalen Davis himself, and then Jasir Taylor's a guy who played for 3 different teams and barely played last year, and then some of his tapes concerning, and you go down throughout all these names. Like you're not going to find somebody that you know and that you feel great about and that you could count on. And my question, I asked everybody of note yesterday, what do you feel like you can count on behind Dax and DJ? And the answer from all three was some version of, we're about to find out. They're counting on something good to happen. And we don't know that it's going to.
Yeah.
And so that to me is concerning. That doesn't mean that it can't turn out fine, but they are really banking on a couple of players, including some that there's not necessarily reason to believe in. I didn't mention Josh Newton, who has not played well when given opportunities in the last couple of years, who's in that mix.
Right.
A lot of guys who you're like, oh, I guess that's what we're counting on is these guys to either figure it out, or if the change of scenery work, or you hit on a 3rd round pick at that position, which doesn't happen all the time. That's flimsy to me.
Which is why when you did your 8 players they could least afford to lose, Dax Hill made the list.
Yeah.
I might have had him higher.
Yeah.
For the reason you just outlined.
Yeah. Where Turner was up at the top and I had Dax on there for the same, I had him on there for the same reason. I think to a little bit lesser degree, just because of the nature of his high has not been as high as DJ's, but you can make that argument. That in the same, I mean, they need him badly,
right,
to play really well. I mean, they need both those guys to play really well, and they're really banking on that. And while DJ Turner has for 1 season,
right,
Dax Hill has had his issues, and in terms of the way he's been moved around, and he struggled at certain spots. He seems to have a home there. I like that they came out and were very blunt about the fact that he is an outside corner.
Right.
Let's be clear about this, not mess around with it. And I think that is going to help Dax. It's really going to help that position as a whole. But yeah, they need those guys to play well. And that's not necessarily like a absolutely for certain thing like you feel about maybe some other guy.
Well, it's interesting with DJ, who was awesome last year.
Awesome.
But I'll talk about how good Miles Murphy was at the end of the season last year, and I'll get pushback. The same people pushing back will talk about how awesome DJ Turner is. And my take on that is, okay, I understand the skepticism about Miles Murphy, but the amount of time that those guys spent being really good in their NFL careers isn't that different.
Similar.
Right? I mean, that's, DJ had a better full season last year, but it's like late bloomer, 3rd year, Miles Murphy later in year 3, but same thing. We trust one, we're skeptical of the other.
Yeah, and Miles,
and I want to trust both, but still.
And Miles' opportunity was limited his first 2 years,
right,
more so than DJ's.
Yeah.
If you go by career snaps. But I just, what is the pushback against Miles? What did Miles do? What did he not do for an extended period of time last year? Half a season. And then plus, if you look even over this full season at some of his high leverage situations, they were great.
Yeah.
What did he do to make you think that there would deserve pushback, that he's not going to be able to replicate that?
Right.
I don't understand that. And I've sort of been the number one Miles Murphy fan because what I've seen in his game, I believe in. What we saw last year, I believe in, and that was not a flash in the pan. He was doing real stuff that somebody with his physical skill set translates to, being productive over the course of a career. I don't understand pushback against the idea that Miles isn't going to be really good this year.
Also, Sam Hubbard had been retired. You needed a new favorite.
I did need a new favorite. It's true. It's hard. Sam left a hole in my heart when he walked away.
Did for a lot of folks. 27 away from 4 o'clock. Paul Dehner Jr., The Athletic, and the Growler Podcast. Sports headlines. More with Paul next. ESPN 1530, Cincinnati Sports Station.
Not just talk. This is sports with soul, sweat, and swagger. Tony Pike's Cincy 360. Tomorrow at 12 noon on ESPN 1530.
Cincinnati's ESPN 1530. Traffic.
From the UC Health Traffic Center, the UC Health Women's Sports Medicine Program provides specialized care for female athletes at all levels. Schedule an appointment online at uchealth.com. Keep an eye out for a crash northbound on Hamilton that's over at John Gray Road. Also on Hamilton, there's an accident south of Chase Avenue and an injury accident Reading Road at Section Road. Construction work northbound 71 closing the right lane from Martin Luther King to Dana. I'm Eddie Zellick with traffic.
This report is sponsored by Miami Valley Gaming.
3 more $25,000 cash prizes are up for grabs in July at Miami Valley Gaming.
Must be 21. Ohio Problem Gambling Helpline, 1-800-589-9966 or visit org.ohio.gov. Ready to take a break? Visit timeoutohio.com.
This summer, Valpak is helping you save smarter with offers from trusted local and national brands delivered right to your mailbox and inbox. From home improvement and dining to everyday services, Valpak connects families with savings they can actually use. Featured this month, Champion Windows. For over 70 years, Champion has designed and installed custom replacement windows made in the USA. Look for Champion Windows offers inside your Valpak blue envelope or visit valpak.com, where smart shoppers find savings and brands they trust.
Hey, it's Mo Egger. If you want to save Mo money on insurance, United Heartland Insurance, in partnership with Auto Owners, is about to change your life. I'm talking savings so good you'll scream, Mo money, out your car window like you just won the lottery. Your neighbors are going to worry, but you're not going to care because you're saving money. United Heartland Insurance and Auto Owners gives you great rates, real service, and zero nonsense. No jingles or mascots, just pure, glorious Cincinnati-style savings. UHINS.com. That's UHINS.com.
Twisted Tea Hard Iced Tea just got harder with Twisted Tea Extreme. Twisted Tea Extreme is made with real brewed tea, goes down smooth, and an 8% kick of alcohol. Dial up the fun with Twisted Tea Extreme. Keep it twisted. Twisted Tea Brewing Company, Cincinnati, Ohio. Please drink responsibly.
We talk about elite sports every day. NovaCare Rehabilitation lives it. Trusted by the University of Cincinnati athletes who demand the best. If you got aches, pains, they can help. Sounds like a comeback story in the making. Train hard, recover smarter. NovaCare, the power of physical therapy.
Liberty Mutual customizes your car and home insurance. And now we're customizing this rush hour ad to keep you calm, which could help your driving. And science says therapy is great for a healthy mindset. So enjoy this 14-second session on us. I think you've done everything right and absolutely nothing wrong. In fact, anything that hasn't gone your way could probably be blamed on your father not being emotionally available because his father wasn't emotionally available, and so on. And now that you're calm and healing, you're probably driving better too.
Liberty, 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 liberty.
Finding great candidates to hire can be like, well, trying to find a needle in a haystack. Sure, you can post your job to some job board, but then all you can do is hope the right person comes along, which is why you should try ZipRecruiter for free at ZipRecruiter.com/radio. ZipRecruiter doesn't depend on candidates finding you. It finds them for you. Its powerful technology identifies people with the right experience and actively invites them to apply to your job. You get qualified candidates fast. So while other companies might deliver a lot of hay, ZipRecruiter finds you what you're looking for. The needle in the haystack.
See why 4 out of 5 employers who post a job on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. ZipRecruiter, the smartest way to hire. And right now, you can try ZipRecruiter for free. That's right, free at ZipRecruiter.com/radio. That's ZipRecruiter.com/radio. ZipRecruiter.com/radio.
ZipRecruiter. I move mountains for a living. Literally. That means I don't carry hand lotion, and when it comes to serious heartburn, I don't mess around with anything but Rolaids Max Strength. Its dual active formula has 1,500 milligrams of calcium carbonate and magnesium hydroxide that relieves heartburn fast. And the best part? The roll fits right here in my pocket, so I can get back to moving mountains.
Rolaids spells powerful relief. 1,500 milligrams is our highest amount of antacid per tablet. Read each label. Use as directed. Keep out of reach of children.
Booking.com is the easiest way. From a day surrounded by noise to a stay surrounded by nature. That's nice. Go on, book it. It's easy. Booking.com. Booking.yeah.
Back to school starts now. Get long-lasting battery life on the Dell XPS laptop powered by Series 3 Intel Core so you can work from anywhere. Now starting at $699 with exclusive student pricing starting at $599. Complete your setup with savings on select monitors and must-have electronics and accessories. Limited time deals and free shipping on PCs and more await you at Dell.com/deals. That's Dell.com/deals.
No one covers the Bengals like ESPN 1530, Cincinnati Sports Station.
21 from 4 sports headlines. Quickly, a service of Kelsey Chevrolet, home of lifetime powertrain protection and guaranteed credit approval from their family to yours for life. KelseyChev.com. Doubleheader at GABP, a split doubleheader. The makeup game from last night is in the top of the 7th inning. Reds and Guardians tied at 5. Cincinnati has stormed back after Chase Burns gave up 4, a grand slam home run in the first inning. Cincinnati briefly took a 5-4 lead. Cleveland got a run back in the top of the 5th, and we are deadlocked at 5. Top 7, game 1, game 2 tonight at 7:10. Y'all's hosting Joliet tonight. Bengals training camp starts tomorrow. We are broadcasting from camp beginning at 10 a.m. Is there any Bengals news today? Anybody else go on the pup list, anything like that?
No news today. I think we just got the minor BJ Hill to the pup is really the only big one.
All right, very good. Paul Dehner Jr. from The Athletic and the Growler podcast. Are the Bengals going to get Deebo Samuel?
You know, I don't like talking about this stuff anymore.
I know.
We're the post April 17th Bengals now.
This
where
is
we
one
have
of my
to,
favorite players.
Really?
Yeah.
I don't see it.
Ultimate chess piece.
That
last year had a beer gut in Washington, so I could relate to him.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know. He might, if he's a chess piece, he might have changed from like a queen to a rook at this point. If you're a big chess guy.
2 hours last week where the internet was abuzz.
Yeah, they do that.
The internet does.
They like to buzz.
Mhm.
I don't see that because I think they like where they're at there with Gesicki and Yoshi and the Colby Young experience. I think that's dropping a variable in there that I don't see them going after. And it did not sound. I asked Duke Tobin about the possibility yesterday of them making more moves, and that did not sound to be his plan at all. He sounded like unless something goes wrong, he feels like he likes the team and likes where they're at. And so for that fact, I would say unlikely, but my days of saying definitely not after the Dexter Lawrence thing. They're a new team now. I'm not here to make any definitive statements. It does feel unlikely though, after what we heard.
We can't get through or at least start training camp without talking about who's going to play how much when preseason games begin. And you have this weird dynamic where on one side of the ball, insane continuity. So one could argue, well, those guys don't have to play all that much. That said, there is a track record of starting slowly on offense. Flip side of it is on defense, a lot of new parts. Unit that collectively was bad last year, a lot of pieces. They've got to coalesce, got to come together quickly. And so maybe you want those guys to play a bunch. How do you anticipate all that playing out?
I feel like it will look in the same range as last year. I think that they felt like that worked outside of Joe go down into August in Washington. And I sort of brought that up to Zach Taylor yesterday, and he was like, if you have a way to assure me that that's not going to happen, I'd love to hear it. But there's sort of a inherent thing where it's like if you felt like Joe could definitely go out there and play clean and not have anything like that go down again, you would feel better about him going out there and playing as much as he did last year, because that did seem to, I think in his mind, help things. It does seem to be his preference. And I think they think that it will help them start faster. I would think that we'll see them play in a couple of games, but there is, he didn't say, there was no admission that that's going to happen or anything like that. So we don't totally know yet. It can change as it goes, but yeah, I would think that we'll see them play in some preseason games this year.
Extensive amounts of time or cursory, hey, get your series or two. I mean,
well, last year was a decent amount.
It was. Yeah.
I mean, so if it's
there were times where I was screaming, like, just get off the field.
just get off the field, right?
This isn't going well.
So I think that, I think with your defense, you're right. You could use some reps out there for those guys together to get a little bit more used to things. And maybe it looks a little better than it did last year in the preseason.
That'd be nice.
Talk about foreshadowing.
But that's the thing.
Yeah.
That's what was so troubling about it is I think there were things we saw in the preseason on defense that you didn't just chalk up to being, hey, it's the preseason. It was, boy, this looks a lot like last year, and I fear this is what it's going to look like when the real games start, and that's exactly what happened.
We were assured that was not going to be the case. They were just holding everything back. Remember
Yeah,
that?
sure. Yeah, not showing anything.
No,
Sure.
Yeah, because they didn't have anything to show.
Right.
But yeah, it's hard to say. I don't know. They're not really, there's no openness about that plan, but the sense what feels like that it would replicate last year's template a little bit.
Is there going into training camp an under the radar position or roster battle that you feel like deserves a little bit more attention?
I think we've talked a lot about offensive tackle, so I don't think that's really under the radar at this point. I mean, I don't know what other people are talking about. People are usually talking about receiver, but I think that's interesting. I think they've put a little pressure on Yoshi.
Mm-hmm.
Colby Young's here.
Mm-hmm.
We know that Gesicki can be used in that role.
Right.
I think figuring out what they want to do with that is going to be interesting and can have an impact. And then obviously the Eric All factor in this, where if you're going 2 tight ends, he could take one of those guys off the field. How much are they going to be wanting to do that? What does, he looks good to go, looks like he's going to be full. How does he look? How much can you count on that? How much do they lean into that? Will that mean more 2 tight end sets and less of 11? I don't know. But I think that's all going to be something that we'll be watching evolve as we see how all of those factors are playing. That last spot. How does everybody look? That's sort of a battle within a battle across positions a little bit.
How would you handicap the running for the Mo Egger Show Award? Which, for those who don't know, goes to, it's always been a receiver.
Yes.
I don't know that it has to be a receiver, but it's always been a receiver who's at the very bottom of the depth chart, who just, as camp starts to unfold, there's a little buzz, and then fans on social media start to get excited about him. And then, by the time we get to the preseason, we're making this guy out to be another version of Jamar Chase. This award goes back to the Marvin Lewis era. There's a long list of illustrious winners, including 2-time winner Andre Yoshivas. How would you handicap the field for this year's Mo Egger Award winner, and do we include other position groups?
I think you can always include other position groups. They're just not very conducive to
Correct.
making the easy-to-see splash play.
Right.
The video that gets replayed. I think that, are we going to, Colby Young included in this? Or is he too high of a pick?
I think he's too high of a pick.
Okay.
Yeah.
Fair. So if you take him out of it, because he'll have some splash plays, he'll be involved. He's going to get opportunity.
Sure.
So take him out of it. Last year it was, did you give it to Mitch Tinsley? He ran away with it, right?
We gave it to Mitch Tinsley.
Yeah.
He clinched it after
the Commanders game.
The Commanders game, yes.
Where he was unbelievable.
We engraved the trophy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Could call it the Mitch Tinsley Award. Dante Myers.
Okay.
The CFL kid.
Okay.
Right. There's been a little whispers, scuttle.
Okay.
If we're gonna throw a name out there,
Murmurs.
There's been some murmurs about him.
Yeah. Now that turns into buzz after a practice or two.
Sure. It doesn't take much.
Buzz then becomes hype. So
and next thing you know,
this is how it builds.
It's award time.
Yeah.
Jordan Moore. I don't know.
Okay.
There's any number of names. I would say I would throw Dante Myers out there.
So he would be the odds-on favorite?
The odds-on favorite? They're all the same. Xavier Johnson, Jordan Moore. I don't know if Kendrick Pryor even counts. He's just been around forever.
Yeah.
He's too new. He's not new enough. Dante Myers, Noah Thomas.
Okay.
Maybe. I'm just named all the receivers.
All right.
So, But
I mean-
I'll put Myers in there if we're crossing everybody else off.
The contest will begin tomorrow.
Yeah.
Like this isn't one of those like, well, let's watch them practice. No, this first practice is at 10 o'clock. There could be separation from the rest of the pack by about quarter after.
All right. If I don't know the total handicap here, but give me Myers.
Okay.
That's where I'm getting my value at.
I'm trying to, some of the past winners, if you go back away, Dane Sanzenbacher. Remember the one iconic preseason game he had?
Sanzenbacher.
Yes.
Love that name.
I mean, so there's, Auden Tate won this award and a lot of them.
Man, was going back watching I can't remember what tape I was watching, but an Auden Tate in motion happened. And I was like, oh, the good old days here.
Yeah.
That was what it was all about.
I listened to someone drone on about Auden Tate's catch radius for about 15 minutes one afternoon. And it's the closest I've ever come to falling asleep while hosting a show.
He did have quite a big catch radius, but when you couldn't ever get open, you needed it.
Fine. Yes. And that's almost verbatim what I said.
Yes.
Catch radius may be awesome, but if there's a guy draped on him, it doesn't matter.
Good dude. Liked Auden Tate.
You like Auden Tate?
Liked Auden Tate.
Do we know what Auden's doing these days?
Going about his life's work.
Do we know what Jermaine Burton is doing these days?
Not playing football. I'm gonna guess there's a nap involved.
Are Barrett Carter and Demetrius Knight eligible for the Mo Egger Show Award?
No. They're starters, and they were starters last year.
Yeah.
Now, do you want my camp guy?
Jack Dingle.
No, not Dingle.
Okay.
I'm not a Dingle guy.
What?
I'm a Shaka guy.
Oh, you like Shaka Hayward. I
I've
get it.
been open about Shaka.
Yeah, you have.
I'm a big
been.
Shaka
Yeah,
guy.
Yes.
He's my off the radar guy to like really make waves.
Is there, in all seriousness, is there a world where he could be one of the two starting linebackers week one?
A world?
Yeah.
Yes.
Like
we live in the world where Barrett and Demetrius are the starters.
Yeah.
So
pretty much. But you're discounting Jack Dingle. So
I'm crossing off Dingle. That's true. That's true. I don't see that happening.
But Shaka Hayward, like that can be a thing that happens.
Sure. I'm not saying it's not impossible.
Not just because the other guys aren't good, but because he plays well enough that they're like, you know what, we're good with him as this and comfortable with him as the guy.
Let's say one of those two. Let's say Barrett or Demetrius just are not good or hurt.
Yeah.
Okay. I think between Oren Burks and Joe Giles Harris and Shaka, like he's got as good a chance as any of those three guys to become the guy. I've been a Shaka guy. I like his career arc. He's gotten better every year. He's drawn more praise every year. He got hurt last year and it really kind of set him back. The position is what it is.
Mm-hmm.
Why not?
Okay.
Why not? I'm not saying it's likely, but it's not impossible.
No, not with those two dudes at the top of the depth chart.
It's not exactly.
Do you think Barrett Carter and Demetrius Knight ever say to each other like, can you believe this?
Can you?
Can you,
man?
You like? Are they? They're doing this?
They're doing
like,
this.
Wow,
we are so lucky.
Unbelievable.
Yeah, I probably every day.
Wow. All right. Well, we'll see you down there tomorrow.
I can't wait to see you guys.
You guys
are gonna have your booth and everything.
You're gonna have a little table
and
and
tent.
It's gonna be awesome.
I can't wait. I love training camp.
I love being down there. It wasn't at all surprising to you that they kind of kept the same camp routine with them practicing in the morning.
I think the players loved that.
Kind of felt
last
like everybody
year.
liked that. Yeah.
No, that was the response at the end of last year was do not change this. They loved it. They love practicing in the morning, not when they're like more tired in the second half of the day. And felt like it was more productive for them. So I was under the full assumption that was going to get repeated.
I felt like it was well received by fans who go to practices too. That they liked go in the morning, go get lunch, rest of the day in front of you.
I hope that that's the case. I loved it. And that's really what I
understand.
Was really focused on because the idea of just getting your work done, boy, there's just.
What are you wearing tomorrow that's yellow or has fruit on it?
Thursday.
Oh, Thursday's the day.
You know where I'm gonna have to go stop. I don't own a single yellow shirt, not a t-shirt, not a polo, and I'm not anti-colors. I actually wear light colors a lot. Yellow has just never been one that I've been like, need that. I've never purchased a yellow shirt in my life.
I have a yellow Skyline Chili chicken chili T-shirt,
Oh,
and I think that's all the yellow gear I own.
is that what are you gonna wear that Thursday?
Yeah, sure, whatever. I'm a game. I'll pretend I'm among you guys.
You're
Sure.
amongst us.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I'll
absolutely.
pretend I'm a real journalist.
Yeah, absolutely.
I'll wear the shirt.
Wear the yellow shirt. I'm gonna have to go purchase one.
Okay.
So
I can't wait to see what you come up with.
Do
you
me
want to
too.
explain that to the audience real quick?
Yeah, so people that are maybe familiar with last year, the banana Trags wore his banana shirt and then banana hat, and it ended in a hilarious exchange with Jamar Chase that gained all kinds of traction. In fact, NFL socials have posted it out a bunch here recently and stuff like that. It was hilarious. And so he said the second day of camp is his annual Wear the Banana Stuff day. Well, to support local food insecurity, bring awareness to that, we're all going to wear yellow, and Trags is going to pull his banana shirt back out as a way to sort of draw more attention to some local causes and things like that. And so that's why we're doing it on Thursday.
That's awesome.
Yeah, it's going to be great.
Thank you as always.
Looking forward to it. We'll see you down there.
Paul Dehner Jr., theathletic.com, the Growler podcast, and follow along at Paul Dehner Jr. 5 away from 4 o'clock, way late for a break. This is ESPN 1530, Cincinnati Sports Station.
Cincinnati's ESPN 1530. Traffic.
From the UC Health Traffic Center, the UC Health Women's Sports Medicine Program provides specialized care for female athletes at all levels. Schedule an appointment online at uchealth.com. Northbound on Hamilton Middletown Road, there's an accident at the State Route 4 bypass. Northbound drivers are being forced to turn right onto the bypass. Watch out for police and emergency crews over there on scene as well. And there's also an accident northbound on Hamilton at John Gray Road. I'm Eddie Zellick with traffic.
This report is sponsored by RockAuto.com.
Oof, shocking time to lose a whole strut.
Ugh, comedy is not your thing, but I do know that Rock Auto has what I need to fix it.
With parts shipped right to your door. No kidding.
All the parts your car will ever need, Rock Auto.
If you have a 2, 3, or 4% mortgage rate, don't refinance it. You don't have to, but you can still get cash out of your home. Introducing Loan Pronto's zero-cost equity loan. Mo Egger here. That's right. With Loan Pronto, you can get all the cash you need without touching your first mortgage and without any fees. One local homeowner just got $100,000, paid off all their credit cards, paid off their existing HELOC, remodeled their kitchen, and saved over $1,500 per month. It gets better. There's no hard credit pull up front, usually no appraisal, no long drawn-out process. And listen, no closing costs. You may even be able to skip your next 2 house payments. So call Loan Pronto now. Leave your low-rate mortgage intact, but get the cash you need in as little as 2 weeks without paying closing costs. LoanPronto.com. See how much cash you can get right now. 513-800-1550. That's 513-800-1550. LoanPronto.com. For qualified homeowners, equal housing lender, NMLS 1661781, NMLSConsumerAccess.org.
Your one stop for advertising? Call 844-844-iHeart.
When power goes out and cell networks fail, AM radio can be a lifeline with local news, weather, and emergency information. But time is running out. AM radio could disappear from new cars unless Congress acts. Please text the 2 letters AM to 39179 and tell Congress to vote yes on the AM Radio for Every Vehicle Act. Text the letters AM to 39179. Message and data rates may apply. You may receive up to 4 messages a month, and you may text STOP to stop. This message furnished by the station.
Someone had a birthday.
Yep, 50. Can't believe it.
50 years of wisdom.
Great segue. We have a health reminder from the CDC.
Pneumococcal vaccination is recommended for adults 50 or older. Says here, we're over 6 times more likely to be hospitalized with pneumococcal pneumonia than adults under 50.
I don't love those odds.
Same. Look what I found. Pfizer's Prevnar 20 is proven to help protect adults against pneumococcal pneumonia and invasive pneumococcal disease in just 1 dose, and millions have already gotten it.
Continued approval may depend on a supportive study. Don't get Prevnar 20 if you have a severe allergy to its ingredients. A weakened immune system may lower your response. Common side effects include injection site pain and swelling, fatigue, headache, muscle, and joint pain. For full prescribing information, please call 1-855-213-2138. Visit Prevnar20.com or talk to your doctor or pharmacist.
I'm on Prevnar20.com now, scheduling my appointment.
Good idea. And happy 50.
Hey, Mom, now that I have an after-school job, I think I want to buy a drum kit.
Okay, rock star. Let's look at your account.
When kids start making money, Chase has easy-to-use tools and expert bankers to help them learn how to manage it.
And next month, I'll buy the bass drum and the cymbals. Oh, and maybe some noise-canceling headphones for you.
Aw, you've thought of everything.
Help kids save, budget, and build financial independence, all with Chase. That's good for kids and good for parents. Visit your local Chase branch and get started.
Account subject to approval. JP Morgan Chase Bank, N.A. member FDIC.
From the Precision Comfort Tempstar Weather Center, here's your forecast.
Much better conditions today for the Reds. So as we go into this evening, temperatures will be by 7 o'clock in the low 80s with a mostly clear sky and actually clearing out tonight, drier air moving in. We're going to tumble tonight to 64. Tomorrow, 82. Really no detectable humidity under a sunny sky, and we'll have more sunshine in for your Thursday forecast with a high of 64. I'm Jennifer Ketchmark from The Edgar Show on ESPN 1530, Cincinnati Sports.
Is sponsored by the DID Foundation. The Danny DID Foundation closes gaps in epilepsy care in memory of Danny Stanton, a child lost to sudden, unexpected death in epilepsy, or SUDEP. If someone you know experiences seizures, visit DannyDid.org for safety resources. Enjoy your life. Danny Did.
You've got a big day, so you use Unstoppable Scent Boosters to give your laundry non-stop freshness. So no matter how long the day goes, you
can't stop this power, this walk, this pose, this strut, this look, this talk.
Your clothes will be so fresh you can confidently strut into that end of the day meeting like a
bosses. Let's talk business in my office.
Add new Unstoppable beads to your wash for 24-hour non-stop freshness, so you can smell unstoppable.
Life can throw unexpected challenges your way. And when it does, Manila Law Group will stand by your side. Auto accidents can turn your life upside down. That's why we're here. We will fight to get you the compensation you deserve so that you can get back to your life without the weight of the legal system on your shoulders. Trust the attorneys at Manila Law Group to be your strength so you can focus on what's important to you. You don't pay if we don't win. Visit MLGforme.com to schedule a free consultation.
Hey, it's Mo Egger. Listen, if you're not trying to save Mo money on insurance, that's between you and your bank account. But if you are, then you got to call my friends at United Heartland Insurance in partnership with Auto Owners. They've got competitive prices, professional service, and they're not going to make you answer 47 trick questions like you're on some weird game show. Just honest hometown insurance that actually saves you, you guessed it, Mo money. Get a quote today at UHINS.com. That's UHINS.com, and tell them Mo sent you for that Auto Owners hookup.
I'm Nick Turturro. You probably know me from NYPD Blue, The Longest Yard, or Spike Lee's Black Klansman. And on my new podcast, Delivering Happiness with Nick Turturro, I deliver pizza to a new guest. I've shared a slice with everyone, from Seth Rollins. What are you doing, my belt? To Bill Burr.
I don't think I've ever met somebody so exactly out of their mind.
We even have more great guests coming up, including John Turturro.
It's called Happiness. Delivering Happiness.
Open your free iHeartRadio app, search Delivering Happiness with Nick Turturro, and listen now.
From the ESPN 1530 studio, built on the financial foundation of Omega Wealth Private Capital, where wise money matters.
This is 1530 WCKY, the 50,000-watt orange and black home of the Cincinnati Bengals. Cincinnati's ESPN 1530. Cincinnati's ESPN 1530. Traffic.
From the UC Health Traffic Center, the UC Health Women's Sports Medicine Program provides specialized care for female athletes at all levels. Schedule an appointment online at uchealth.com. There is still an accident northbound on Hamilton Middletown Road that's over at the State Route 4 bypass. Right now, northbound drivers being forced to turn right onto the bypass. Police emergency crews there on scene. Southbound 75 at Middletown and State Route 122 accident blocking the right lane. I'm Eddie Zellick with traffic.
In a world of parts for excitement, Twisted Tea's your refreshing thrill ride of flavor. The hard iced tea that's smooth, made with real brewed tea and 5% alcohol. Twisted Tea. Keep it twisted.
Twisted Tea Brewing Company, Cincinnati, Ohio. Please drink responsibly. Men, erectile dysfunction can affect much more than just your sex life. It can create stress in relationships, leading to feelings of anxiety or embarrassment, and impact your overall confidence and well-being. This is Jeff for Tri-State Men's Health. and we specialize in treating men's sexual health issues to help men find solutions that fit their individual needs. ED is a frustrating condition, and many men suffer for years without seeking treatment. But the good news is that if you're like most men, we have the answer. Our licensed medical providers will evaluate your specific medical situation and recommend a plan designed for you. And these advanced medical therapies work, with treatments having success rates of well over 90%, which means you and the one you love can have great sex again without the fear and worry of ED. You can even last up to an hour or more, and you may just find you're performing like you haven't in years. So call us. Your initial visit is just $99 and includes blood work, a medical consult, and if medically advised, a test dose. And if that test dose doesn't work in the office, your visit is free. Call 800-900-9654 or go to tristatemenshealth.com.
Window World is all about upfront pricing. Right now, get 10 Energy Star windows for just $77.90. That's $159 a month, or 8 for $62.72, just $128 a month.
For more details, visit windowworldcincinnati.com.
Hosting August Outdoors? Rude. Beat the heat with an AC from Rude. Visit rudecincinnati.com. RUUD-Cincinnati.com.
Now here's your chance to win $1,000. Just enter this nationwide keyword on our website. Green. That's green. Enter it now.
Green.
It's training camp.
Oh, yeah.
The Tony and Mo
Yeah.
Football Show is there, bringing you the orange and black like never before. Thanks to AE Door and Window, O'Connor, Achani and Levy, and Omega Wealth Private Capital. We'll be huddled up in the airport paint and body broadcast area. Hear training camp as it happens tomorrow at 10 a.m. on ESPN 1530, the official home of the Cincinnati Bengals.
Night, that's us. Cannot wait for tomorrow, 10 a.m. That's right. We will be on, this radio station. Typically, we have 6 hours during the week of local programming per day. Tony and Austin, noon to 3. Our show, 3 to 6. But tomorrow, Thursday, Friday, and a bunch of days next week, and intermittently throughout training camp, we expand that to 8. Tony and I broadcasting from tomorrow morning's Bengals practice beginning at 10. And then Tony is going to stick around and do Cincy 360 from noon to 3 from Bengals practice field. And then I'll be back here in studio from 3 to 6. But I've said this often. I said it often last year. I've said it often over the last couple of weeks just in talking about training camp. But for years doing this show, this is something that I've wanted to do. And quite frankly, I've not really wanted to do it by myself. I've wanted to do it with somebody like Tony Pike. And so when the Bengals moved their practices to the morning last year, we initiated conversations about how we broadcast from training camp. And let's face it, they're open to the people who cover the team on a daily basis. It's not like state secrets are being held. But the Bengals were and have been awesome to work with. And we've had the opportunity. I think we did last year. It ended up being 11 shows from training camp. Some of them were when they moved practices to the afternoon during my normal time slot, but it's a lot of fun. And we hope if you're in our audience, and hopefully you will be, that you enjoy. The Guardians have just taken a 6-5 lead on a successful suicide squeeze bunt, 6-5 Cleveland. This is a game the Guardians led 4-zip early on a Kyle Manzardo grand slam off Chase Burns. The Reds fought back, took a 5-4 lead. Cleveland tied the game in the makeup game from last night's rain out. We will certainly keep you up to date. And whatever reaction there is another game tonight in just about 3 hours. So I don't know how much reaction there's going to be from the main particulars after today's game, but whatever there is, we'll give it to you. And I got some Red stuff to get to a little bit later on. Brenneman and Jones on baseball coming up later on this hour. And our sports legal expert attorney, Stuart W. Penrose, on a hand full of sports legal topics, including, I want to ask Stuart this. So we played the audio last week, right, of John Rothstein from CBS, who says if UC makes the NCAA tournament, he's going to buy Bearcat fans Graeter's ice cream. He is skeptical. And look, man, I love the Bearcats. The skepticism is deserved. It is a brand new team. They are in the Big 12. It's hard to win in that conference with a brand new team. It's what Jared Calhoun is going to be asked to do is tough. Now, it's maybe made a little bit easier by two things. One, the fact that he got the job relatively early in the process. And number two, they've expanded the tournament field to 76. And I feel like that's the barometer that we're all going to use for success. Do they make the tournament? Are they team 76? If so, I think we're all going to feel pretty good about year one. But something that John Rothstein hinted at is his skepticism that MJ Collins is going to be eligible. MJ Collins played for Jared Calhoun at Utah State, is really good. And if he's on this year's Bearcat team, there's a lot of folks who believe he'll be their best player. So he is among a handful of guys. Philip Borovichinen at Xavier is another who a local judge has ruled can play. The NCAA continues to take losses in court, but a whole lot of guys from their high school class 2022 sued for eligibility. MJ Collins is one of them. John Rothstein seemed to express skepticism that he's ever going to see the court. And so I want to ask Stuart, walk me through the possible legal process that could get in the way of some of these guys ultimately being eligible to play. That conversation is coming up in just about 25 minutes. TJ Friedel with a nice diving catch to conclude the top of the eighth inning, 6-5 Cleveland at GABP. This offseason is over for the Bengals, and I need to make something abundantly clear. There is nothing boring about the Cincinnati Bengals team. And there's nothing boring about this upcoming season, what's at stake, the possible high end, the possible fallout from the low end. When we talk about how boring the last 2.5 months have been, let's be honest. The typical stuff that we spend time on hasn't been there. And so I at times have to make the differentiation between being a fan and being a fan who has a talk show. Being a fan, I want things to be as boring as possible. Give me nothing but football. A fan who has a talk show, we've joked a lot about the debt of gratitude that we owe Trey Hendrickson, Shamar Stewart, Jesse Bates, T. Higgins, Jamar Chase, Joe Mixon, and players who in recent years have had some degree of contract issue with the Bengals. And some have taken their attempts to get a new deal to extremes. Some have done so quietly. But there have been a lot of things mid-May, late May, June, early July, mid-July that don't have as much to do with what's going to happen on the field once training camp starts, but are about player disenchantment, people throwing stones at the Bengals because of how they operate, trade requests, some guys grandstanding for deals, the threats about holding out, holding in. None of that stuff has been here. And so they're just beyond that. There's in May and June and early July, in the if at some point in that time frame there would have been a contract extension. And it's going to be worth paying attention to between now and the start of the season. Do they get something done long-term with DJ Turner? Do they get something done long-term with Dax Hill? Do they get something done long-term with Chase Brown? Do they sign Miles Murphy to something long-term? Your guess is as good as mine. And are there mechanisms that those players use to get a long-term deal, i.e. maybe a hold-in, so to speak? The coaches yesterday all said they expect those players who have looming contract extensions or have 1 year left on their deal, they expect them to all be full participants. But I mean, that can be one of the storylines here. And there's been an absence of that. I do think it's going to be fascinating to see how things unfold with DJ Turner. I think it's going to be pretty fascinating to see how things unfold with Dax Hill. The Chase Brown dynamic is extraordinarily interesting. There's a lot of guys on this team. For all the discussions about the newness of the players they've brought in, the acquisitions, Dexter Lawrence and Brian Cook and Boye Mafe and Jonathan Allen and Kyle Duggar, we've spent a lot of time on those players, and understandably so. And I would imagine if you're going to practice tomorrow, if you're paying attention to training camp, those are the guys that you're going to be watching closest. But some of these other dudes are worth paying attention to. Like DJ Turner last year was terrific. It's terrific. And if you knew nothing about him, you would think that guy is on the verge of being a star. That said, fair to wonder, can he be even better? Or can he have 2026 at least be a repeat of what we saw from him in 2025? Like, there's a whole season's now worth of really good tape on him out there. There's a reason why coaches spend all their time working and sleeping in the office. It's because they spend an ungodly amount of time studying film and scouting and getting ready to play guys and play teams and exploit things and adjust to them. And so, how does the league adjust to DJ Turner? And for a guy who, let's call it what it is, has been a little bit of a late bloomer, is 2025 truly who he is, or does he revert to what he was prior to 2025? I'm betting on DJ Turner because I'm betting on the most recent body of work. And the most recent body of work, DJ Turner last year, was really, really good. But he's also a guy, in the absence of a contract extension, who could be uber motivated to prove that he is one of the best corners in the league and deserves to be paid appropriately or accordingly. Dax Hill. Like, you talk about late bloomer, Dax Hill spent the majority of his first few seasons either looking like a man out of place, or being a man without a position, or being sort of an ill fit for where he was being asked to play, or hurt. Last year, it felt like he found a home, outside corner. I don't know if he has played enough at that position for any one of us, though, to go, you know what? They are set where Dax Hill plays. So that's kind of, to me, worth wondering about. Miles Murphy. It's interesting. I said this to Paul last hour. I think we all agree DJ Turner was awesome last year. I think we would all agree DJ Turner, it took a while. Miles Murphy last season at the end of the year was terrific. And Paul said this last hour, and he's right. Even over the course of the entire season, in certain high leverage situations, was really, really good. But late bloomer. His first two seasons were a wash. I do think it's interesting. When you bring up DJ Turner, folks are ready to anoint him one of the league's best cornerbacks based on a very limited body of work. And yet, when you talk about Miles Murphy being one of those key guys moving forward, folks, I think, are a little bit more hesitant. I may be less hesitant, but I am interested. Was last year the start of a star turn? Was maybe last year as good as it's going to get? Or does it prove to be a flash in the pan for a guy who was a late bloomer? Shamar Stewart. It is remarkable, given the fact that this is a second-year guy who's a former first-round draft choice, and given the fact that this is a dude that we talked about incessantly for months on end. It's remarkable how little discussion, how little buzz there's been about Shamar Stewart. Part of that is understandable. He was hurt. His rookie season was a total wash. But just think of what can happen with this defense. Like, we're all so bullish on so many of the new pieces, and to a degree, Miles Murphy. Shamar Stewart's a former first-round pick, but I think you can kind of move around a little bit. What if Shamar Stewart ends up being a dude? Like, there was about 5 minutes during camp last year, and it quickly got washed away. But there was about 5 minutes during camp last year where, once we kind of put the whole contract issue behind us, where Shamar Stewart was being talked about for being able to wreak havoc. Now, doing it in drills, not necessarily doing it as much in games, but what if Shamar Stewart does what Miles Murphy has done, although in a shorter time frame, and he kind of kicks it into gear well after his rookie season? Also, Jordan Battle. Like, the Bengals acquired two safeties this offseason. One in Brian Cook, who is exactly the kind of player that Geno Stone isn't, does exactly what Geno Stone did poorly. And I think anybody who's ever spent any time around Brian Cook or is at all familiar with him is about all the things you want your players to be about. Like, Brian Cook is a very good player, but he's won at the college level. He's won at the NFL level. He's, about the right things, as they say. And Kyle Duggar, and I remember we talked about this on the day the Bengals acquired him. Kyle Duggar is exactly the type of player that I think so many of us wish the Bengals would have had last season. A reliable backup, a good option. Because last year we watched Jordan Battle and Geno Stone, and they had the longest leashes of all time, in large part because the safeties behind them had really never played the position. Well, Jordan Battle's still here. What is going to be really interesting is to see if Jordan Battle can flourish in an environment that's just better around him. I mean, not to pick on Jordan, who we've had a chance to talk to and is an exceptionally easy guy to root for. I have a social media post about an event that we did with Jordan Battle about a year ago, actually, right before the season started, Tony and I wrote this guy, yeah, we're Bengals fans, but some of those dudes are just a little easier to root for than others. Jordan Battle was one of them, but I don't know. Safety play last year wasn't awesome. Geno Stone drew more ire and anger than anybody else at the position, and understandably so. It ain't like Jordan Battle was great. What version of him do they get? There's the impact of all these other guys and the positive impact on all these other guys and the players who were here last year is something worth paying attention to and worth talking about. But I think it's going to be worth watching closely, not just Dexter Lawrence, not just Brian Cook, not just Boye Mafe, not just even players they've drafted, not just Cassius Howell, but on defense. I don't know that training camp's going to give us much of a glimpse, but I do think it's worth wondering, what's in store for some of these guys who either showed flashes last season or were really good last season or seemingly just found a home, or in Shamar Stewart's case, didn't really do anything, but he's still a former first-round pick. We've talked more about Barrett Carter and Demetrius Knight and what they're going to do this season, and they were taken later in the same draft that Shamar Stewart was taken in. And Jordan Battle as well. It's a big year for a lot of those guys. It's obviously a huge year for the team as a whole. 20 minutes after 4 o'clock. By the way, and this is it's the beta version, so we're just sort of trying this. But we are streaming video today on Twitter and on YouTube, so you could watch. You could watch this show. It's really interesting to watch a radio show. At Mo Egger on Twitter, and just look for my name on YouTube and you'll find it. It's the beta version. We have some fancy artwork that Taryn Bland created, and there's a scroll at the bottom, which either is or isn't distracting. I have no idea, but you could watch it on social media if that's your game. Listening to it's also fine. I don't know why anybody would have stare at this face for 3 hours, but lo and behold, there it is, and it's.
Tell them leave the comments. Maybe you can read some of the comments.
Oh boy, yeah, that's always fun. We could read some, but there are some folks who have left some comments. We could read some comments because you know what? When you're in the middle of doing a show, what you really want is someone to just kill your confidence. But yeah, we got fancy artwork that Taryn made. It's
or make you confidence.
Make me confident. That's what we need. I need a little pep talk. Well, pep talk from the comments would be nice. But anyway, it's the beta version. We're testing it out, but I felt the need to at least say that it's there on Twitter and on YouTube. We are way late, 22 after 4 o'clock. Brenneman and Jones is about 30 minutes away. Reds and Guardians are going to the ninth inning. Cleveland leading 6-5. Game one of the doubleheader at GABP. This is ESPN 1530 Cincinnati Sports Station.
Cincinnati's ESPN 1530. Traffic.
From the UC Health Traffic Center, the UC Health Women's Sports Medicine Program provides specialized care for female athletes at all levels. Schedule an appointment online at uchealth.com. The right two lanes are still blocked off due to an accident on southbound 75 that's after State Route 122 over in Middletown. Northbound Hamilton Avenue, it's an accident at John Gray Road, and there's one more crash out there on Harrison. It's at Glenmore Avenue. I'm Eddie Zellick with traffic.
This report is sponsored by Wendy's. Summer should be fun, not expensive. That's why, for a limited time, Wendy's is serving up small classic Frosty treats for just $1. Celebrate $1 Frosty Summer with a hot deal on a cool treat. Get it while it's hot. Or, cold. Limited time only at participating U.S. Wendy's.
All right, when I was a kid, I didn't like doing homework, but sometimes you got to do your homework. Like when your joints hurt every single day and you've been told you need surgery, do your homework. Because, look, once a joint gets replaced, that's it. There's no going back. So before you schedule surgery, why not get a second opinion from QC Kinetics? By the way, it's absolutely free. So regardless of the pain that you've been dealing with, maybe it's bone-on-bone arthritis or a torn meniscus or just years of wear and tear, surgery could be a part of the conversation, but it should not be the only conversation you have. Talk to the medical team at QC Kinetics and learn about their regenerative treatments that deliver relief to patients like you right here in the greater Cincinnati area. So many people have taken advantage of what QC Kinetics does. You start with a simple medical evaluation. They review your history. They look at any imaging, and they get to the actual source of pain. And then if you're a good candidate, they concentrate tiny healing tools within your body right in the spot that's actually causing the pain. So if you're a good candidate, this could be your way to avoiding surgery. That's the idea here. They want to explore every option, and they want to give you a shot at holding off on surgery or, in some cases, avoiding it altogether. So do your homework, get a second opinion, call QC Kinetics. The conversation and consultation, both free, 513-847-0019, 513-847-0019. That's 513-847-0019.
When power goes out and cell networks fail, AM radio can be a lifeline with local news, weather, and emergency information. But time is running out. AM radio could disappear from new cars unless Congress acts. Please text the two letters AM to 39179 and tell Congress to vote yes on the AM Radio for Every Vehicle Act. Text the letters AM to 39179. Message and data rates may apply. You may receive up to 4 messages a month, and you may text STOP to STOP. This message furnished by this station.
If you run a business, you know how hard it is to get your customers' attention. Yet 85% of consumers say radio is the last thing they hear before shopping. Let iHeartRadio help you reach your next customer today at 844-844-iHeart.
Whether it's a sports, work, or everyday injury that may or may not involve a cool story, OrthoCincy Orthopedic Urgent Care is ready for all your orthopedic injury needs. OrthoCincy Orthopedic Urgent Care has locations all over the tri-state, and walk-ins are always welcome. Go to orthocincy.com.
And Doug. Limu and I created a trick to help you remember that you can customize your car insurance and save with Liberty Mutual. You see, the shirts Limu and I wear are yellow, and yellow is the color of lemons. And lemons grow on trees, and trees provide oxygen. And oxygen helps us breathe, and breathing is how you live. And you can live more life when you save money by customizing your car insurance. I agree, Limu. It's really quite simple. Only pay for what you need at LibertyMutual.com.
Liberty, 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 liberty.
Someone had a birthday.
Yep, 50. Can't believe it.
50 years of wisdom.
Great segue. We have a health reminder from the CDC.
Pneumococcal vaccination is recommended for adults 50 or older. Says here, we're over 6 times more likely to be hospitalized with pneumococcal pneumonia than adults under 50.
I don't love those odds.
Same. Look what I found. Pfizer's Prevnar 20 is proven to help protect adults against pneumococcal pneumonia and invasive pneumococcal disease in just 1 dose, and millions have already gotten it.
Continued approval may depend on a supportive study. Don't get Prevnar 20 if you have a severe allergy to its ingredients. A weakened immune system may lower your response. Common side effects include injection site pain and swelling, fatigue, headache, muscle, and joint pain. For full prescribing information, please call 1-855-213-2138. Visit Prevnar20.com or talk to your doctor or pharmacist.
I'm on Prevnar20.com now, scheduling my appointment.
Good idea. And happy 50th.
I move mountains for a living. Literally. That means I don't carry hand lotion, and when it comes to serious heartburn, I don't mess around with anything but Rolaids Max Strength. Its dual-active formula has 1,500 milligrams of calcium carbonate and magnesium hydroxide that relieves heartburn fast. And the best part? The roll fits right here in my pocket, so I can get back to moving mountains.
Rolaids spells powerful relief. 1,500 milligrams is our highest amount of antacid per tablet. Read each label. Use as directed. Keep out of reach of children.
WCKY Cincinnati, an iHeart radio station. Guaranteed human. ESPN 1530.
iHeartRadio.
You know, we love doing this show live. To me, that's the beauty of what we do. It's live. It's not on tape, but we do tape stuff. So if you miss it live, you can go listen to it on the iHeartRadio app. Interviews, entire shows, stuff you may have missed, stuff you might want to hear again. On the iHeartRadio app, podcasts of this show are a service of Long Neck Sports Grill. Long Neck Sports Grill, if you're looking for a place, if you're a fantasy football commissioner and you're looking for a place to host your fantasy football draft, how about Long Neck Sports Grill? You host your fantasy draft there. They'll give you a free draft kit. They'll give you $100 in coupons. They've got wing specials. They've got $9 Bud Light and Busch Light pitchers. You can't beat that. And 3 locations, TVs all over the place. So if there's something on you want to watch during your draft, you could watch it. And I love Long Necks. And you got to love the Hebron. The Hebron's the brand new location, but Richwood's awesome too. And the first ever Long Necks in Wilder. Long Neck Sports Grill. Stay long, come often. Headed to the bottom of the 9th inning at GABP. Reds trail Cleveland by a score of 6-5 in game 1 of the split doubleheader. I talked about Joe Burrow yesterday. Big shock there. He's the quarterback of the local football team. And said something about Joe Burrow that I don't know if it was misinterpreted, but some took it as me being negative based on some of the feedback I got after the show. There's negativity and there's realistic. We all love Joe Burrow. Most of us are really bullish about what this team did this offseason. Joe Burrow isn't going to play football forever, even if he plays his entire career with the Bengals, and he's not going to be in his prime forever. I think one of the reasons for optimism about this team is timing, right? AFC North in transition, AFC relatively wide open, Burrow in his prime, continuity on offense, the investments they've made in players, like they're all in their prime. But you can't talk about timing without talking about how little time the Bengals have. We'll get to more of that coming up in the 5 o'clock hour. Tony Romo and some local college basketball players and their eligibility for the upcoming season. A part of our next conversation with attorney Stuart W. Penrose from the Manila Law Group next.
Cincinnati's ESPN 1530. Traffic.
From the UC Health Traffic Center, the UC Health Women's Sports Medicine Program provides specialized care for female athletes at all levels. Schedule an appointment online at uchealth.com. Northbound 7175, the left lane blocked from a disabled vehicle after 12th. Traffic there, stop and go from Dixie Highway. On southbound 75, the right 2 lanes blocked from an accident after State Route 122 in Middletown, and eastbound State Route 32 accident after Bauer Road. I'm Eddie Zellick with traffic.
This report is sponsored by Positive Coaching Alliance.
Got issues with youth or high school sports? Positive Coaching Alliance can help. PCA, a national nonprofit, offers more than 1,000 free online resources for youth and high school sports coaches, parents, students, and administrators. Visit PCADevZone.org.
I'm Nick Turturro. You probably know me from NYPD Blue, The Longest Yard, or Spike Lee's Black Klansman. And on my new podcast, Delivering Happiness with Nick Turturro, I deliver pizza to a new guest. I've shared a slice with everyone, from Seth Rollins. What are you doing with my belt? To Bill Burr.
I don't think I've ever met somebody so exactly out of their mind.
We even have more great guests coming up, including John Turturro.
It's called happiness. Delivering happiness.
Open your free iHeartRadio app, search Delivering Happiness with Nick.
Senior Director of Marketing and Innovation for Avocados from Mexico, speaks on audio's reach.
We know how powerful is audio. I mean, with the frequency, the reach that you can generate with that component is something that we always have as an add-on in our campaigns.
As the #1 audio company, iHeartMedia connects marketers to the audiences, live conversations, and trusted influencers you need to grow. If you're a marketer, go to iHeartAdvertising.com.
Hi, I'm Chris with Rolling Homes, built in Cincinnati, built on trust. Selling your house doesn't have to be a hassle. No repairs, no fees, no stress. We focus on doing what's right for you with a clear, fair offer and no surprises. You choose the timeline and we make it happen. Local, experienced, and here to help. One call, one offer, done. Call 513-513-CASH. That's 513-513-CASH. Rolling Homes. Call us today and see how easy selling your home can be.
Finding great candidates to hire can be like, well, trying to find a needle in a haystack, but not with ZipRecruiter. Its powerful technology actively finds and invites qualified candidates to apply to your job. So while other companies might deliver a lot of hay, ZipRecruiter finds you the needle in the haystack.
See why 4 out of 5 employers who post a job on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. Try ZipRecruiter for free at ZipRecruiter.com/radio. That's ZipRecruiter.com/radio.
ZipRecruiter. Summer's a great time to upgrade with Gilkey Windows. For a limited time, we're offering buy one, get one 40% off. That's buy one window or door, getting the next at 40% off. Give us a call today at 877-7-GILKEY. That's 877-7-GILKEY.
If the world were like a Sleep Number mattress, everything would adapt for your comfort. Your coffee would never get cold. Your flight would always be on time. And your mattress would always respond to you and your unique sleep needs. Sleep Number mattresses are designed to respond to your body and shift with your changing life, helping you fall asleep faster and stay asleep longer. To experience a whole new world of comfort, visit a Sleep Number store or go to sleepnumber.com. Sleep Number. To a good night's sleep.
ESPN 1530. Cincinnati's sports
26 from 5 o'clock. This is ESPN 1530. Mo Egger, thank you for listening today. Brenneman and Jones on baseball. Just less than 20 minutes away. It's Tuesdays. It's 4:35, which means we chat about sports and the law with our sports legal analyst from the Manila Law Group, attorney Stuart W. Penrose. We have a lot to talk about. What's going on, sir?
Just staying busy, Mo, and seeing all that's going on in sports and the law. How about yourself?
Exactly the same, because there is a lot going on with sports and the law. Let's talk about Tony Romo. So last week we saw that he's up in Milwaukee, which is the part of the country he is from. He's playing in a golf tournament, and he was arrested on suspicion of operating a vehicle while under the influence. He, according to the Milwaukee County Sheriff's Office, he performed poorly on field sobriety tests. He was stopped driving on the interstate, was taken into custody, booked, and then released. This might be a silly question, I guess, but I'm going to ask it anyway. What is the legal difference between suspicion of OWI or DUI, depending on where you live, and actual OWI or DUI?
Sure. I mean, Mo, the suspicion of OVI or DUI simply means police believe they have enough evidence, or probable cause to investigate or arrest someone. It's not a conviction. It's not even the formal charge. Once they're formally charged, that's when you're charged with a, OVI or DUI, depending upon what it's called in your jurisdiction here.
How are the punishments treated differently?
Well, the OVI or the DUI is the actual charge. Punishments are treated differently depending upon how bad it was, how high of a level of an OVI was it, what was their blood alcohol content, how many offenses is this, in Ohio, I mean, they can rise to the level of felonies if you've had several of them. There are mandatory minimums with each level of OVI in every jurisdiction. So, how an OVI is treated can vary wildly.
I feel like, and you could tell me if I'm wrong, I feel like there's a decent amount of uniformity when it comes to how each state handles possible crimes involving driving under the influence. But how much variety is there state to state when it comes to this offense?
Well, there's a lot of variety state to state. Every state has their own laws on any type of crime, Mo, but certainly every state is going to have some level of mandatory minimums in terms of fines, in terms of license suspension. Some have jail or driver's intervention program minimums. So, that will be in common. What falls in terms of, the ranges of each of those are going to be different state to state.
Let's say someone in my audience finds themselves in the same situation as Tony Romo, and they're pulled over, and they've had a beer or two. From a lawyer's perspective, what's the advice? What should folks do or not do?
I'm glad you asked that question. You're not going to hear an answer from me that's all that different from any other lawyer that handles DUIs. You have a right to remain silent. Anything you say can and will be used against you. They're looking for evidence from you. Be polite to the officers. Give the basic information of your name, your ID, and whatnot. Don't give statements beyond that. Don't talk about what you had or didn't have to drink. Say no to the field sobriety test. Say no to the breathalyzer, the blood test. That's evidence that the police is trying to get from you to convict you of a crime. Don't give them that evidence. That's the best piece of advice that I can give someone. And then call an experienced DUI lawyer. You can call my office. You can call Rob Healy in my office. He handles these cases every day, and he would tell you the same advice that I just said.
I hear that. Worth keeping in mind. There's always Uber and Lyft as well, just for what it's worth.
Absolutely.
I want to ask you about MJ Collins and he and other men's college basketball players. You and I talked about this last week and the week before. They have successfully sued for an extra year of eligibility. MJ Collins is due to play for the University of Cincinnati after playing for Jared Calhoun at Utah State. So you're a UC fan. I'm a UC fan. We've all seen this video by John Rothstein of CBS Sports. He talks about a lot of different things. He's guaranteed to buy us all Graeter's ice cream if UC makes the NCAA tournament. I hope to take him up on that. But part of his rant, because there's a long video, is he expressed some skepticism that MJ Collins is actually going to play. And it's worth mentioning there are other players, other programs. Philip Borovigin was a part of the lawsuit as well. And so I think there's a lot of us who saw the initial ruling and then the secondary ruling and thought, okay, MJ Collins is good to go. What could happen legally that could threaten his eligibility and the eligibility of some of the players that he was in the lawsuit with?
Sure, it's the same thing we talked about last week, Mo. The injunction that's allowing them to play this year is going to go to an appellate court here in Hamilton County. And, we'll see what happens at the end of the day. Can the NCAA win an appeal? Yes. You never know what ruling you're going to get. God forbid we saw that with Brendan Sorsley, even though he later, lost his eligibility through his own doing. But yes, courts are differential to trial judges, and the standard is not, would the appellate panel have ruled differently than Judge Wagner? It's, did Judge Wagner have a reasonable legal basis for what he was doing? And if they find that he did, then his injunction is going to last. MJ Collins does not need to win the ultimate case. These other young men don't need to win the ultimate case, and cases take time. It's unlikely that case of the NCAA will end before March. They just have to beat up the clock, Mo. And if they can do that, they can play next year.
I hope they do, specifically MJ Collins, but I'm being selfish. Attorney Stuart W. Penrose from the Manila Stanford athletes that are taking the first step towards forming a group that could collectively bargain. And we hear all the time that the solution to many of the sort of the issues that college sports faces is to allow for collective bargaining, but I'm not sure legally that that's possible. Because I think, number one, we're talking about a large group of athletes. I'm not sure who they would be bargaining with. And also, and you can correct me if I'm wrong, every state has different laws about how collective bargaining can work. Am I off base? How could something from a legal perspective, how could something like this work?
Well, I think if we all knew how it would work, it would have happened by now. I understand what these young men are trying to do, Mo. College sports, as we talk about every week, are just in the Wild West right now. They're in the wilderness, and nobody's in charge right now. They're trying to do what they can to protect themselves, and I understand it. And why wouldn't they do that? That said, public universities are governed by state labor laws, which vary state to state. Private universities are governed by federal labor laws. I don't know how you would create a patchwork system there. And, then you're getting into the whole, are players employees? Is the school the employer? Is the conference the employer? Who are they bargaining with? It's very difficult to make something uniform here. I understand what they're going for. Hopefully something like this can be solved with Congress if they, end up passing a bill to help college sports to, eliminate the necessity for something like this. But we'll see how it happens. But it's just it's a symptom of college sports being the Wild West. I don't know how else to put it.
There is no other way to put it. And you're the expert. I agree. Attorney Stuart W. Penrose from the Manillo Law Group. All right. If someone needs real legal advice, like real legal representation, instead of just a segment on a radio show, how can folks get a hold of you?
They can call us the Manillo Law Group. We're the real deal. We have offices throughout town, in each corner of Cincinnati and right in the center. OVIs, personal injury, bankruptcy, give us a call. We'll help you out. We'll make sure that everything runs smoothly for you. When it's their fault, it's our fight. 513-723-1600.
Awesome stuff as always, my guy. Thanks so much.
Thank you, Mo.
That's our sports legal expert. He has been an awesome addition to our show this year, Attorney Stuart W. Penrose from the Manillo Law Group. Brenneman and Jones on Baseball is about 10 minutes away. Sports headlines are a service of Kelsey Chevrolet, home of lifetime powertrain protection and guaranteed credit approval from their family to yours for life. KelseyChev.com. The game has gone final at Great American Ballpark, and it ended with what the kids used to call a web gem.
The 1-0. Swinging a little looping liner into short right field, falling in a hurry. Diving Martinez lays out, and he makes the headlong diving catch. A spectacular play by Angel Martinez in short right field, laying out, getting his glove under it to make the catch and end the ball game. That's all. Reds fall 6-5 to the Guardians here in Game 1.
Tommy Thrall, Reds Radio Network, and 700 WLW went final just a few minutes ago. 6-5 the final score. Angel Martinez with a really nice catch of a sinking J.J. Bleday liner in the bottom of the ninth inning. Bleday represented the winning run. Cincinnati got the tying run on base thanks to a Sal Stewart 2-out walk. Bleday came up. You just heard how it ended. The Guardians scored the go-ahead run in the top of the eighth inning on a successful suicide squeeze bunt. I am, generally speaking, anti-bunt. I don't know that I'm diametrically opposed to it in a situation like the one the Guardians were in with the go-ahead run on third base and 1 out. But regardless of whether or not you are in favor of something or opposed to something, sometimes there's extreme aesthetic beauty, even in things you don't love. There is nothing prettier in baseball. Nothing, in my opinion, prettier in baseball than a successful suicide squeeze. And I only saw it in real time. I assume it was a suicide squeeze with the runner taking off from third. I don't think that was the safety squeeze. Nonetheless, Guardians pushed across a run. They made it stick. Chase Burns started, gave up a grand slam in the top of the first inning to Kyle Manzardo. It was an inning where Edwin Arroyo made an error. Reds put themselves behind the 8 ball, but they bounced back. Sal Stewart homered in the third inning. Now it's worth mentioning, and I love Elly De La Cruz, but it is worth mentioning in the third inning, 4-0 game, Elly De La Cruz got thrown out at second base trying to stretch a single into a double. I don't know that he was running as hard as he should have been out of the box. Now, let me preface this by saying, A, I trust my eyes. B, I have not seen a replay of it. That was unfolding while we were preparing for the show. We had 1,000 things going on. I'm not sure he was running full tilt out of the box. That's based on what I saw. Nonetheless, Sal Stewart, the next hitter, hits a solo homer. They lose by a run. Who knows how the game unfolds from there? But down 4-0, you're only going to get so many opportunities. That was a chance to cut the deficit in half. Instead, it only ended up being a solo homer. And as the game wore on, you kept thinking about how the game would have turned out had that been a 2-run homer. Nonetheless, the Reds did take a lead in this game. They scored 4 times in the fourth inning. Sal Stewart drove in another couple of runs. Unfortunately, Chase DeLauder with a sacrifice fly against Chase Burns. That tied the game at 5. That's how we remained until the 8th. Cleveland got the suicide squeeze. They scored a run. Reds did not score in the 8th. They got the winning run to the plate in the 9th, and then the Angel Martinez play ended the game. By the way, I mentioned it was a game in which Arroyo makes an error in the first inning. Elly gets thrown out trying to stretch a single into a double. TJ Friedl in the 9th inning did make a couple of, actually in the 8th and 9th inning, made a pair of really nice catches in center field, all for naught. 6-5, the final score. Second game of the doubleheader starts at 7:10 tonight. The Guardians now lead the season series 3-1. The Reds need to win the next two in the Ohio Cup. The way the Ohio Cup works, if you won it the year before and you tie the season series the next year, you keep the cup. So all the Reds got to do is win tonight and win tomorrow. They'll keep the cup. All the Guardians need to do, basically look at it like this. Cleveland's magic number is 1. Cincinnati's magic number is 2. I have not seen, and Taryn, you can correct me if I'm wrong, Reds are going to make game 2 a bullpen game. Gavin Williams is going to start for Cleveland, 7:10 tonight's first pitch on 700 WLW. Also tonight in Florence, the Y'alls opening up a series against Joliet. Bengals players reporting for training camp today. The first practice is tomorrow morning at 10. We will be there live starting at 10 on ESPN 1530 with the Tony and Mo training camp show. There was a lot there. We have a lot of ground to cover. We are guest free the rest of the way between now and 6 o'clock. So let's do it. Brenneman and Jones on baseball is next on ESPN 1530.
Cincinnati's ESPN 1530. Traffic.
From the UC Health Traffic Center, the UC Health Women's Sports Medicine Program provides specialized care for female athletes at all levels. Schedule an appointment on
A weakened immune system may lower your response. Common side effects include injection site pain and swelling, fatigue, headache, muscle, and joint pain. For full prescribing information, please call 1-855-213-2138. Visit Prevnar20.com or talk to your doctor or pharmacist.
I'm on Prevnar20.com now, scheduling my appointment.
Good idea.
and happy 50th.
When employers like iHeart and ProSource choose Delta Dental of Ohio, employees can access top-quality care from a large nationwide network of dentists and obtain services from a leading provider of dental benefits.
This is Chris Ventrola, Human Resources Director at ProSource. We're committed to providing top-quality services for our customers. That's why we trust Delta Dental of Ohio to keep our employees happy and healthy so they can perform their best.
Delta Dental. Building healthy, smart, vibrant communities. DeltaDentalOH.com.
From the Baker Cooling TempStar Weather Center, here's your forecast.
Much better conditions today for the Reds. So as we go into this evening, temperatures will be by 7 o'clock in the low 80s with a mostly clear sky and actually clearing out tonight, drier air moving in. We're going to tumble tonight to 64. Tomorrow, 82. Really no detectable humidity under a sunny sky, and we'll have more sunshine in for your Thursday forecast with a high of 64. I'm Jennifer Ketchmark from the Edgar Show on ESPN 1530, Cincinnati Sports Station.
This report is sponsored by Positive Coaching Alliance.
Got issues with youth or high school sports? Positive Coaching Alliance can help. PCA, a national nonprofit, offers more than 1,000 free online resources for youth and high school sports coaches, parents, students, and administrators. Visit PCADevZone.org.
In a world parched for excitement, Twisted Tea's your refreshing thrill ride of flavor. The hard iced tea that's smooth, made with real brewed tea and 5% alcohol. Twisted Tea. Keep it twisted.
Twisted Tea Brewing Company, Cincinnati, Ohio. Please drink responsibly.
Hi, I'm Chris with Rolling Homes. Built in Cincinnati, built on trust. We help homeowners sell without the stress. No repairs, no fees, no stress. Just a fair cash offer, clearly explained, and a closing date that works for you. Whether you're relocating, dealing with an inherited home, or just ready for something simpler, we're here to help. Real people, real conversations, no pressure. One call, one offer, done. Call 513-513-CASH. That's 513-513-CASH. Call us today.
Remember when everyone was creating those LeBron tribute songs? Now it's your time to shine. Create your own with Smile Tunes. Honor your favorite player, team, or your Little League star with a custom song from Smile Tunes. Visit SmileTunes.com and create your own anthem today.
Hey, it's Mo Egger. If you want to save Mo money on insurance, stop scrolling, stop procrastinating, stop pretending your cousin Gary's friend can get you a better deal. Now, go with United Heartland Insurance in partnership with Auto Owners. These folks deliver big savings, professional service, and zero nonsense. It's insurance the way it should be. Fast, friendly, and it keeps Mo money in your pocket. Get a quote at UHINS.com. That's UHINS.com, and tell them Mo sent you for that Auto Owners hookup.
From the ESPN 1530 studio, built on the financial foundation of Omega Wealth Private Capital, where wise money matters.
United Dairy Farmers presents Brenneman and Jones on Baseball. Brought to you in part by Encore Technologies on ESPN 1530.
Reds continue the series tonight against the Cleveland Guardians. There we go again. What?
We really going to talk about baseball today?
We talk about baseball most of the time.
Is this a huge date for you?
Yeah.
Okay.
What do you want to know?
Well, okay.
It's Amanda's birthday.
That's right. That's right. It's Amanda's birthday.
That's right.
And you weren't going to mention it? I mean, you're
now see what you're doing to me now.
Backing you in the corner.
Now you're putting me on the spot, and I've got to listen to this when I go home.
It is. You are so happy. She's a beautiful woman, and you got it right. It took you 3 times, but you got it right. We should talk a little bit about Amanda because she is very special.
She certainly is. I will not argue with that one single bit.
You want to say something? Say something romantic.
Oh, I did that the other day on a long podcast.
I
just waxed eloquent about how much I love her and what she's meant to me and how I can't depend on anybody but her for anything. And I hate to be dependent upon a person as much as I'm dependent upon her.
Oh, that's enough to gag a maggot right there.
We'll be back in a minute.
Hi, this is Trevor Jones with Robert Jones Plumbing, the world's friendliest plumbers. Family owned and operated for 40 years. Give us a call for all your plumbing needs, whether drain repairs, water leaks, or sewer repair. That's Robert Jones Plumbing, 513-353-2230.
Summer doesn't start until you've had UDF peach ice cream, made with hand-picked peaches at our dairy right here in Ohio. So have a peach sundae, a peach shake, a peachy cobbler ice cream quake, and start your summer now, only at United Dairy Farmers.
Looking for IT solutions that deliver results? Encore Technologies has you covered. We specialize in secure data management, cloud services, and innovative IT strategies tailored to your business needs. Our team of experts works tirelessly to ensure your technology infrastructure is robust and reliable. Visit Encore.tech to learn more about our comprehensive IT services. Encore Technologies, driving your business forward with cutting-edge solutions. Let's hit it out of the park together. Okay, we're talking about Amanda's birthday.
And on a serious note, how important is she to you?
She's incredibly important, unbelievably important. Never dreamed that any woman would be this important in my life than her.
What else? Keeps you going.
Oh, yeah.
Keeps you organized.
No grass growing under this bad boy.
No.
You know what I mean?
You really do. You're amazing. I see you're off, shaking hands, kissing babies. You need to slow it down.
Yeah. I want to thank you for something.
What's that?
I know you were born on March 31st.
That's right.
Today's my birthday too, clown.
Oh, jeez. I completely forgot. Happy birthday, Marty.
See, that's all I need from you, Tracy.
How old are
to
you?
Acknowledge.
How old are you now?
84.
You look 82.
I know. I feel good about that.
Happy birthday to both of you. You make a great couple.
It's going to be a great day. Believe me when I tell you that. It's nice to be born on the same day as your wife. You have a hard time forgetting that.
A little birthday. You know what I'm talking about?
Tracy.
Yeah.
It's probably going to be a little bit early, but I just want you, because you're such a good friend of mine and all the 4.5 years we've done this show.
Yeah.
Happy birthday coming up on March 31st next year.
Stupid.
You've been listening to Brenneman and Jones on Baseball, presented by United Dairy Farmers, brought to you in part by your Cincinnati and Northern Kentucky Toyota dealers on ESPN 1530.
This is 1530 WCKY, the 50,000-watt orange and black home of the Cincinnati Bengals. Cincinnati's ESPN 1530.
I'm Christine Lisi. Draymond Green, one of the remaining pieces of Golden State's 4 NBA championship dynasty, will be back for season number 15 with the Warriors. He's agreed to a 1-year, $27 million contract with the only team he's ever played for. The deal does not contain a no-trade clause. Philadelphia's Jalen Carter's reset the NFL's defensive tackle market. 4 years, $152 million extension with the Eagles, richest contract for defensive tackle in league history in terms of guaranteed money and average annual value. Carter's shown during his 3 NFL seasons he can be one of the most impactful defensive players in the game, notes ESPN NFL analyst Herm Edwards.
He's a disruptor. He can blow things up inside. And that's the scary part. You got to double him. You can't allow him to just try to single up on it because he can make things very, very bad for offenses. So, they needed to get him, obviously. This is a big part of their team when you think about the Eagles.
Buccaneers quarterback Baker Mayfield reporting to training camp without a new contract, so he'll play out the final year of his deal before becoming an unrestricted free agent.
If you run a small business, you've got to try Gusto. Get unlimited payroll runs and get your payroll taxes filed automatically. Offer health insurance, 401k, and more. Get started for free at gusto.com.
ESPN 1530. Traffic.
From the UC Health Traffic Center, the UC Health Women's Sports Medicine Program provides specialized care for female athletes at all levels. Schedule an appointment online at uchealth.com. Southbound 75 after State Route 122 in Middletown. The right 2 lanes are blocked due to an accident. Traffic backed up from State Route 123 in Franklin. Also a crash on Turkey Foot Road. That's between Misty Creek Drive and Dudley Pike. And northbound Hamilton, an accident at Kemper. I'm Eddie Zellick with traffic.
If you have a 2, 3, or 4% mortgage rate, don't refinance it. You don't have to, but you can still get cash out of your home. Introducing Loan Pronto's zero-cost equity loan. Mo Egger here. That's right. With Loan Pronto, you can get all the cash you need without touching your first mortgage and without any fees. One local homeowner just got $100,000, paid off all their credit cards, paid off their existing HELOC, remodeled their kitchen, and saved over $1,500 per month. It gets better. There's no hard credit pull up front, usually no appraisal, no long drawn-out process. And listen, no closing costs. You may even be able to skip your next 2 house payments. So call Loan Pronto now. Leave your low-rate mortgage intact. but get the cash you need in as little as 2 weeks without paying closing costs. LoanPronto.com. See how much cash you can get right now. 513-800-1550. That's 513-800-1550. LoanPronto.com. For qualified homeowners, equal housing lender, NMLS 1661781, NMLSconsumeraccess.org.
Your one stop for advertising? Call 844-844-iHeart.
Banged up, stiff, plain hurt in real life? Now's the time to do something about it. Go to NovaCare Rehabilitation. No doctor's prescription needed. Just show up and get to work. Pick up the phone or visit NovaCare.com to find a center near you. Sitting on the sideline is not an option. Experience the power of physical therapy today.
When power goes out and cell networks fail, AM radio can be a lifeline with local news, weather, and emergency information. But time is running out. AM radio could disappear from new cars unless Congress acts. Please text the 2 letters AM to 39179 and tell Congress to vote yes on the AM Radio for Every Vehicle Act. Text the letters AM to 39179. Message and data rates may apply. You may receive up to 4 messages a month, and you may text STOP to stop. This message furnished by the station.
This summer, Valpak is helping you save smarter with offers from trusted local and national brands delivered right to your mailbox and inbox. From home improvement and dining to everyday services, Valpak connects families with savings they can actually use. Featured this month, Champion Windows. For over 70 years, Champion has designed and installed custom replacement windows made in the USA. Look for Champion Windows offers inside your Valpak blue envelope or visit valpak.com, where smart shoppers find savings and brands they trust.
Someone had a birthday.
Yep, 50. Can't believe it.
50 years of wisdom.
Great segue. We have a health reminder from the CDC.
Pneumococcal vaccination is recommended for adults 50 or older. Says here, we're over 6 times more likely to be hospitalized with pneumococcal pneumonia than adults under 50.
I don't love those odds.
Same. Look what I found. Pfizer's Prevnar 20 is proven to help protect adults against pneumococcal pneumonia and invasive pneumococcal disease in just 1 dose, and millions have already gotten it.
Continued approval may depend on a supportive study. Don't get Prevnar 20 if you have a severe allergy to its ingredients. A weakened immune system may lower your response. Common side effects include injection site pain and swelling, fatigue, headache, muscle, and joint pain. For full prescribing information, please call 1-855-213-2138. Visit Prevnar20.com or talk to your doctor or pharmacist.
I'm on Prevnar20.com now, scheduling my appointment.
Good idea. And happy 50th.
Hosting August Outdoors? Rude. Beat the heat with an AC from Rude. Visit RudeCincinnati.com. RUUD Cincinnati.com.
Now here's your chance to win $1,000. Just enter this nationwide keyword on our website. Jack. That's Jack. Enter it now.
Bengals training camp. The Tony and Mo Football Show is there, bringing you the orange and black like never before. Thanks to AE Door and Window, O'Connor, Achani, and Levy, and Omega Wealth Private Capital. We'll be huddled up in the airport paint and body broadcast area. Hear training camp as it happens tomorrow at 10 a.m. on ESPN 1530. The official home of the Cincinnati Bengals.
All right, there you go. That's tomorrow, 10 a.m. from training camp. We can't wait. We hope you're there. The Golic and Golic show doesn't debut till next week. So I'm not exactly sure who we're bumping out of the way, but we're on at 10 o'clock tomorrow morning. So adjust your entire day, and there will be no impact on what happens in the afternoon. Tony and I, 10 to noon tomorrow from Bengals training camp, and Tony's going to be there all day. Tony Pike, here's how busy this dude's going to be. So he's going to do 10 to noon with me from training camp. So we'll be on as practice is happening. And I say this understanding that the guy who makes this happen is Tony. But I do think our show did a really good job last year during training camp of kind of painting the picture and filling in some details and being descriptive and letting the audience, know what's happening. And so if you can't be there for one of the morning practices, and I think training camp is awesome to be at, especially if you have kids. This is the one thing that I think is probably universal throughout the NFL, but it's my favorite part of being at training camp. I love watching the players with kids. The players interact with kids, and I think to a man, and I'm sure there are exceptions, But the guys usually seem like they're so awesome signing autographs and stuff for kids. But anyway, so Tony and I are there 10 to noon tomorrow and let you know what's going on and give you all the latest and describe it in real time. Then Tony hangs out and he does Cincy 360 from noon to 3. And I might stick around for a little bit of that show, but that's Tony and it's Austin. And then I come here and do my show at 3 o'clock. And Tony joins us for hourly training camp updates starting tomorrow at 3:45, 4:45, and 5:45. Long work day for our guy, but a fun one. We cannot wait. And the beauty of this year's training camp is tomorrow we're actually going to talk about football, because a year ago it was, when's Shamar going to get here? When's Trey going to get here? When they get here, how are they going to be? Are they going to be distractions? And we can talk more nuts and bolts football this year, which I don't know about you, but I am here for that. More on the Bengals a little bit later on. Reds lose to the Guardians today, 6-5 at GABP. I think the best way to describe this game this afternoon, the first game of a split doubleheader, would be one in where the Cleveland Guardians made the plays and the Reds did not. The game ended on a really nice catch in right field by Angel Martinez. They successfully executed a squeeze play in the 8th inning to push across the go-ahead run, whereas the Reds, some good stuff happened in this game. Sal Stewart continues to be awesome. Pair of hits, a homer, drove in 3, should have driven in 4. Why should he have driven in 4? Because his solo homer in the 3rd inning should have been a 2-run homer. Ellie De La Cruz, and we don't have to go crazy picking on Ellie, because whenever Ellie does something bad, you get the segment all the way over here that wants to put on a little performance for us. But Ellie trying to stretch a single into a double gets thrown out at second base. And I don't know that he was running as hard as he should have if he was going to stretch a single into a double out of the batter's box. He may refute that. You may refute that. That's okay. But there is a situation, and I'm for aggressiveness. I'm for pushing the envelope. You're down by 4 runs. I think on one hand, you could argue, hey, let's not give away outs. Let's not do anything too aggressive when we're down by 4. But I don't know, man. You're down by 4. You got to create some offense somehow, some way. Get in scoring position for Sal Stewart and J.J. Bleday and Eugenio Suarez. Unfortunately, it backfired. And this reverberated throughout the game because they lost by a run. Maybe the game unfolds differently and not in the Reds' favor, but as soon as Sal Stewart made contact, he hit a home run to make it 4-1. You couldn't help but think, God, the deficit should be cut in half. Earlier in the game, and the first inning was weird. Chase Burns gave up a grand slam home run to Kyle Manzardo, and that made it 4-0. And so they dug themselves a very deep early hole. But one of the contributing factors was an error by Edwin Arroyo. And that would not have been a double play ball. It was with a guy on first, nobody out. Chase DeLauder hit a ground ball. Edwin Arroyo had to go to his left. It would have been a play at first base where the runner moves up, but it's the first out of the inning. And, well, then the way things unfolded, there's a walk that loads the bases. There's a hit batsman and it gets overturned, and then there's a fly out, and then there's a grand slam home run off the bat of Kyle Manzardo. And instead of getting out of the inning, Manzardo has a chance to hits the home run, and that error by Edwin Arroyo. And it's interesting. There have been moments in the field where Edwin Arroyo looks like a really good big league second baseman. There have been moments in the field where it looks like Edwin Arroyo has never played baseball before. That wasn't the easiest play to make in the first inning, but it's still a play that a big league second baseman has to make. And when you don't, and you give the Guardians an extra out, and you give them an extra base runner, well, you put yourself at the mercy of what they may do with it. And what they did with it is they put Chase Burns in an early 4-0 hole. So on one hand, you had the Guardians who made the plays. Successful sack bunt, great play in right field to end it. And on the other hand, you had the Reds who, despite doing some good things, good enough to take a 5-4 lead in this game, there's an error in the first inning. There's an out on the base paths in the 3rd inning, both caught up to this team. That has been a theme. And it's been a theme all year long. It's been a theme even when the Reds got off to the great 20-11 start. Because to me, when I think of those first 31 games, I think of how cleanly they played and how good they were in close games, how good they were in the handful of extra inning games they played. And yeah, man, they got clutch hits and some good pitching performances. But for the most part, those first whatever weeks of the season, more often than not, because they didn't make any mistakes. They didn't leave the door open. They didn't open the door for the opponent. There were exceptions in those first 30, 31 games. But for the most part, and I remember that vividly because we wondered, like, all right, is this sustainable? Let's be honest, they're not going to be a great offensive team. What's interesting about the Reds this year is they've, last year it was like they never hit home runs. Now it's like they don't score unless they hit home runs. But it was worth wondering, is this sustainable? If so, maybe they could stick because they're not going to be a great offensive team. They're leaning into defense. Although it's weird, they talk about leaning into defense and they have a defense first guy at third base who doesn't hit, but then they try infielders in the outfield and barely give them any experience. And so it's like they do things that are sort of diametrically opposed to each other. But when they were 20-11, they didn't make mistakes in the field. They didn't give away outs. They didn't give away bases. They didn't make outs on the base paths. They widened and didn't shrink their margin for error. They played cleanly. They won a lot of close games. Since then, that hasn't always been the case. By the way, for what it's worth, the road trip they just had, which was a good one, they played this just insanely sloppy game a week ago last night in Seattle and then spent the rest of the series making all the plays. Pretty much did the same thing in St. Louis. If they're going to climb back into it, and I say climb back into it because I don't consider them in it. And, let's be honest, the bigger topic is the trade deadline and who they get and who they trade and who they get rid of. But if you are just grasping onto the idea that they're not yet out of it, the only way they go on a miraculous run, akin to what the Boston Red Sox have done recently, is by not booting the ball that Edwin Arroyo booted in the first and not making an out on the base paths the way Ellie De La Cruz did in the third. I'm not picking on those guys. Those are just plays they didn't make. They're the sort of plays, although obviously not the same, that the Cleveland Guardians today did. 6-5 the final score, but there's another game tonight, 7:10 start, second game of the doubleheader. Here's Tito Francona on the game that had just ended, 6-5 loss, and his pitching plans for the nightcap this evening.
The safety squeeze that they executed, could that have been played differently, or is that just one where you tipped your cap to them?
We had Sal being real aggressive, but it's over towards the mound, and you got a left-hander that falls this way. So, good play.
First inning, obviously tough for Chase. Obviously, he bounced back.
Yeah, and you get a call, or they think the guy got hit, he doesn't, and a couple pitches later, it's 4. I didn't think he had a decent feel for his slider right from the get-go. Even warming up on the mound, I think he bounced 3 of them. And to his credit, he reeled it back in because it looked like he wasn't going to stay out there very long. On a day like today, getting 5 was better than getting 3.
Was it encouraging at least that you were in that hole and offensively were able to battle back?
Very much so. Very much so. Just a little frustrating, the way Ramirez gets the hit and they still second and third. And that's when I knew Chase was, I think he's starting to think about what he's, instead of the run. And I understand that.
How big was that from Jose, creating that run?
That's what he does. That's why you've heard me rave about him so many times. Just, you watch him get down the line. He almost beat that ball at the third. That's the way he plays every day.
I think he did in his previous start. Burns get like a 7-pitch inning in the 4th, which you got to love to see because it saves your bullpen another inning.
And that's really big today because we're in there now figuring out what we have going into the second game.
Tito Francona with the assembled local baseball media after the game. And what's worth mentioning there, and I don't know if I did a good enough job of explaining this. So Kyle Manzardo, it was originally ruled that he was hit by a pitch with the bases loaded. That call was then overturned. And instead of advancing to first base and forcing in a run with a bases loaded HBP, it's a grand slam. Which is, one might argue, a microcosm of this season. We will see. And for what it's worth, and I'm not making excuses here by any stretch of the imagination. We got the game on in studio, and we're doing 1,000 different things. The Guardians scored their run on a squeeze play, and I think I said it was a suicide squeeze. It was, and I was watching the highlights front and back during Brenneman and Jones on Baseball. It was described there in that press conference as a safety squeeze. Suicide squeeze plays are a lot more aesthetically pleasing, but the safety squeeze nonetheless effective. 6-5 the final score. For what it's worth, Caleb Ferguson is going to start game 2 tonight. Cincinnati is appointing Jose Franco as the additional player for game 2, and the expectation is he'll eat up a large chunk of innings tonight. So there you go, 18 after 5 o'clock. 513-749-1530 is our phone number. 866-702-3776 works as well. Meanwhile, training camp is starting tomorrow for the Bengals. I gotta maybe articulate something today better than I did yesterday about Joe Burrow. We will do that. Plus, I talked about Spencer Steer yesterday, and you can't do two things. You can't say one thing and then say the exact opposite thing when it comes to the Reds and depth. And I promise, make that make sense between now and 6 o'clock on ESPN 1530 Cincinnati Sports Station.
Cincinnati's ESPN 1530. Traffic.
From the UC Health Traffic Center, the UC Health Women's Sports Medicine Program provides specialized care for female athletes at all levels. Schedule an appointment online at uchealth.com. Southbound 75 after State Route 122 in Middletown. The right 2 lanes are blocked due to an accident. Traffic backed up from State Route 123 in Franklin. Also a crash on Turkey Foot Road. That's between Misty Creek Drive and Dudley Pike. And northbound Hamilton, an accident at Kemper. I'm Eddie Zellick with traffic.
This report is sponsored by Liberty Mutual Insurance. Only pay for what you need. Why pay full price when you can customize and save? Switch to Liberty Mutual and they'll customize your auto and home insurance so you only pay for what you need.
Liberty, 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 liberty. You'll feel the booming in your chest, hear every detonation rip open the sky, and have an up-close view of every fiery blast when we post you up in the front row for the 50th Western and Southern WEBN fireworks, September 6th. You could win a pair of these priceless VIP seats thanks to Postman Law and experience the most explosive moment of your life. Imagine the two of you being in the front row for the 50th Western and Southern WEBN fireworks. Win on air or register online now at ESPN1530.com.
When you're great candidates, well, they're not hard to find when you go to ZipRecruiter. ZipRecruiter helps 10 million people with their job search every day. People who are actively looking for jobs like yours. So it's easy to find the right person fast. 4 out of 5 employers who post on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. Try ZipRecruiter for free at ZipRecruiter.com/radio. That's ZipRecruiter.com/radio.
When employers like 700 WLW and Cintas choose Delta Dental of Ohio, employees can access the nation's largest selection of individually contracted dentists, and they get the care they need from the dentist they prefer.
This is Jennifer Mueller, Vice President of Human Resources at Cintas. We believe in offering our employees the best in benefits, and that's why we offer Delta Dental coverage.
Delta Dental, building healthy, smart, vibrant communities for all. DeltaDentalOH.com.
If Twisted Tea was your best friend, they'd start a dance party in the supermarket that turns into a pool party at your place, and you don't even own a pool. Twisted Tea is smooth, refreshing, and always fun. Twisted Tea Hard Iced Tea. Keep it twisted.
Twisted Tea Brewing Company, Cincinnati, Ohio. Please drink responsibly.
You've got a big day, so you use Unstoppable Scent Boosters to give your laundry nonstop freshness. So no matter how long the day goes, you
can't stop this power, this walk, this pose, this strut, this look, this talk.
Your clothes will be so fresh you can confidently strut into that end of the day meeting like a
boss, 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 bosses. Let's talk business in my office.
Add new Unstoppable beads to your wash for 24-hour nonstop freshness so you can smell unstoppable.
When I beat the guys in my fantasy league, text wasn't enough. I used Smile Tunes to create a victory ballad specifically naming everyone I defeated. It was the most beautiful way to be a terrible winner. Visit SmileTunes.com and claim your ultimate victory soundtrack.
T-Mobile has an exclusive bundle for customers 55 and up.
I'm Sarah Bowl.
Yeah, I'm Frank Bowl.
A reliable network is key for us. And with T-Mobile, it's been wonderful. And going to the 55 plus plan saved us so much money.
A lot.
And that's important. Trying to keep costs down. The home internet's been perfect. It's fast, it's quick. The setup was so easy, it took less than 15 minutes.
It was like, ta-da! If you want simplicity, coverage, reliability, you want the whole package, T-Mobile has it. Right now, T-Mobile customers 55 and up can get 2 phone lines on America's best network, plus America's fastest 5G home internet for just $30 each.
$30 per month each line with autopay plus taxes and fees. Minimum age 55. Pricing for home internet rely on 2 lines of essentials. Choice 55. $35 connection charge per line required. Best mobile network and fastest 5G home internet based on analysis by Ookla of Speed Test Intelligence data 2H 2025. All rights reserved.
WCKY Cincinnati, an iHeart radio station. Guaranteed human. ESPN 1530.
iHeart Radio. Just smacked myself in the face with my my headphones, which is I think I did it right before we came back from a break. But that's the sort of stuff you can watch. We're doing video today, testing it out, so to speak.
Let's skip that part.
We skipped that part.
I still had the banner up.
Oh, okay. I mean, right before we came on, I smacked myself in the head. So you could watch on YouTube, you could watch on Twitter right now, and if you thought, man, the show must be so much more exciting if I could look at Mo's face while he talks. Well, today is your lucky day. Plus, there's all sorts of Taryn created graphics and whiz bang, and we almost look like a real professional outfit here, thanks to my guy T Bland. 24 after 5. This is ESPN 1530. Mo Egger, Bengals training camp tomorrow. We'll get back into them in just a bit. What we should do is take a phone call. This show works best when we get audience participation. It is, after all, a call-in show. Oh yeah, I haven't read should I read the YouTube comments?
There's a lot of them. People are wondering, are you even reading them?
Are any of them good? Are any of them going to ruin my afternoon or ruin my evening?
No.
Are you sure?
Positive.
I've had, and this is neither here nor there. Trust me. This is a pretty stress-free job. But I've had a day. I've had a last 2 days. I'm not even going to get into what I had to do yesterday in order to pick up my car after it got fixed. And just so there are certain days where it's most days, say what you want, I don't care. But I am maybe a little sensitive today. So do I really want to go to the YouTube comments? First of all, I don't even know on this thing where I can find the YouTube comments. But let's talk to a guy waiting on hold, and then maybe we'll read some YouTube comments. We'll see. John in Findlay, you're on ESPN 1530. Good afternoon, John. How are you?
Wonderful. Thanks for the time. I was just thinking with the video for YouTube videos, you could maybe do a spinoff later on of Mo's bloopers or something like that. If you have a grouping of things like that, you could put those together and maybe have a little cut or something. Many would argue that the live broadcast that we put forth every single day is a real-time, unending blooper reel. Well, wanted to just, you went through the game there. One part of the game you didn't mention that really irked me was in the top of the fifth. Mm-hmm. First of all, you get behind early, so you think, oh, this is going to be a long day. And you fight your way back. You take the lead. You have all the momentum, and you go to the top of the fifth. And a lot of times in baseball, they say that next inning after you take the lead is one of the most important because you have the momentum. You hang a zero, and you're in pretty good shape. Well, Jose Ramirez, who seems like he hits about 800 against us, gets on base, and he's a fantastic baseball player. He's one of my favorite non-Reds out there. He would not be classified as Vince Coleman or Willie McGee as far as being fleet of foot, and we allow him to not only steal second, but also steal third, and basically he manufactures the tying run and takes all the momentum that we had in the game away at that point in time. And it's like one of the Chase Burns' very, very few flaws that he has, that he just doesn't seem like he holds runners on at all. He doesn't even. I mean, he's got the big leg kick, so I understand that.
Yeah.
And then it's like, man, you got a guy, and Ramirez can steal some bases, so it's not like it's foreign to him. But it's like, I mean, at least pay attention to him. Maybe pitch out one time, but to allow one guy to get himself into scoring position, and then you get a fly ball to tie the game. It just seemed like at that point in time, it's like, okay, well, it's a game again.
Yeah.
After we had all the momentum and stuff like that just irks me, and it seems like in baseball, and we did it a couple years ago. We were the kind of the hunters where we were stealing all the time and manufacturing. We've just kind of shut down the running game now, where we just in perfectly good running situations, we just don't even try it. And I just think if you talked earlier about the only time we score is when we hit home runs. It's like, well, if that's kind of the way you're going to play it, then that's kind of the way it is. But that was part of the game that kind of irked me today. Although I give us credit for getting back in it, but that was, again, we've seen it a million times this year. That was a winnable game that we just found a way not to win.
Yeah, Guardians made the plays, and you just referenced two of them. Jose Ramirez is a good base stealer. I mean, I think he's 26 for 28 this year. He's had multiple 40 stolen base seasons, so he is a good base stealer. But it did feel like, especially when he stole third, it felt like they paid very little attention to him.
Exactly. And I think for guys like that, and I think Sal Stewart has that ability that he kind of looks like a guy, well, he's not going to steal a base. And he's probably got, about 20 steals this year. And Todd Frazier was really good at that. It's just, there's certain guys that just have a knack for stealing, but it's like, well, you got to, if you know they're going to steal or they can steal, you got to pay attention to them a little bit. But that's just, again, that just is one thing that irks me.
Yeah, no, fair. Because you're right. There are innings like that where you take the lead and it feels like if the other team hangs a zero, we can debate the real value of momentum, but those innings feel significant. And I mean, within moments of the Reds taking the lead, Jose Ramirez manufactures a run by himself. And the two things about it is what we just talked about. One, it felt like Chase Burns didn't pay very close attention to Jose Ramirez, especially when he was standing on second base looking to steal third. And also, it's the sort of manufactured run, you just said this, it's the sort of manufactured run you'd like to see the Reds be able to put together on their own. And instead, the other team did it. The Reds don't necessarily do that nearly enough.
Thanks, Mo.
Okay, John, I appreciate the phone call. It is 29 from 6. Do you want me to carve out time, Taryn, to read? Do I read just YouTube comments?
You have. I mean, what's the reason of streaming live if you don't read the comments? Don't it feel neglected?
Okay, we'll read some comments. Should I read the comments or talk more about Joe Burrow and Spencer Steer? Well, you know what? We have like 29 minutes left in the show. I could do both, so we will. On ESPN 1530, Cincinnati Sports Station.
Cincinnati's ESPN 1530. Traffic.
From the UC Health Traffic Center, the UC Health Women's Sports Medicine Program provides specialized care for female athletes at all levels. Schedule an appointment online at uchealth.com. Southbound 71, there's an accident that's on the entrance ramp from Cooper Avenue. Police over there on scene. Northbound Hamilton Avenue, it's an accident at Kemper Road. Another crash on Pfeiffer Road, that's west of 71. And on eastbound State Route 32, an accident after Bauer Road. I'm Eddie Zellick with traffic.
This report is sponsored by Mel's Auto Glass.
Mel's Auto Glass is the clear choice for auto glass repair, replacement, and recalibration. Call Mel's first at 513-563-7771 and let Mel's handle the details. Family owned for 38 years, Mel sends certified technicians right to you. Mel's Auto Glass.
Friday night, the Florence Yalls host Bluey Night. Bring the kids to meet their favorite blue pup. Sponsored by Recreations Outlet. The first 1,000 fans get a Yalls branded fidget toy, plus another spectacular Rozzy fireworks Friday after the game. Presented by McDonald's. Saturday is Country Night with Tank. The first 1,000 fans score a Yalls keychain with country music, themed entertainment, and a mechanical bull. After the game, enjoy the Bill Brown Band. Free parking and lots of fun. The Florence Yalls.
Your one stop for advertising? Call 844-844-iHeart.
Cincinnati, your summer starts at the Cincinnati Open. From August 8th through the 23rd, come experience world-class tennis, live entertainment, incredible food and drinks, and nonstop energy across our transformed campus. And the best part? Grounds passes and tickets are available throughout the tournament, giving you access to matches, practice courts, fan experiences, and more. Get tickets now at CincinnatiOpen.com.
If you have a 2, 3, or 4% mortgage rate, don't refinance it. You don't have to, but you can still get cash out of your home. Introducing Loan Pronto's zero-cost equity loan. Mo Egger here. That's right. With Loan Pronto, you can get all the cash you need without touching your first mortgage and without any fees. One local homeowner just got $100,000, paid off all their credit cards, paid off their existing HELOC, remodeled their kitchen, and saved over $1,500 per month. It gets better. There's no hard credit pull up front, usually no appraisal, no long drawn-out process. And listen, no closing costs. You may even be able to skip your next 2 house payments. So call Loan Pronto now. Leave your low-rate mortgage intact, but get the cash you need in as little as 2 weeks without paying closing costs. LoanPronto.com. See how much cash you can get right now. 513-800-1550. That's 513-800-1550. LoanPronto.com. For qualified homeowners, equal housing lender, NMLS 1661781, NMLSconsumeraccess.org.
When power goes out and cell networks fail, AM radio can be a lifeline with local news, weather, and emergency information. But time is running out. AM radio could disappear from new cars unless Congress acts. Please text the 2 letters AM to 39179 and tell Congress to vote yes on the AM Radio for Every Vehicle Act. Text the letters AM to 39179. Message and data rates may apply. You may receive up to 4 messages a month, and you may text STOP to STOP. This message furnished by this station.
This weekend only at Cincinnati Overstock. It's our big living room clearance where you can grab sofas, sectionals, recliners, and more, all at the lowest prices anywhere. This stylish Ashley sofa is just $398. Go to CincinnatiOverstockWarehouse.com for more details.
Someone had a birthday.
Yep, 50. Can't believe it.
50 years of wisdom.
Great segue. We have a health reminder from the CDC.
Pneumococcal vaccination is recommended for adults 50 or older. Says here, we're over 6 times more likely to be hospitalized with pneumococcal pneumonia than adults under 50.
I don't love those odds.
Same. Look what I found. Pfizer's Prevnar 20 is proven to help protect adults against pneumococcal pneumonia and invasive pneumococcal disease in just 1 dose, and millions have already gotten it.
Continued approval may depend on a supportive study. Don't get Prevnar 20 if you have a severe allergy to its ingredients. A weakened immune system may lower your response. Common side effects include injection site pain and swelling, fatigue, headache, muscle, and joint pain. For full prescribing information, please call 1-855-213-2138. Visit Prevnar20.com or talk to your doctor or pharmacist.
I'm on Prevnar20.com now, scheduling my appointment.
Good idea. And happy 50th.
Booking.com is the easiest way. From a day surrounded by noise to a stay surrounded by nature. That's nice. Go on, book it. It's easy. Booking.com. Booking.yeah.
No one covers the Bengals like ESPN 1530. Cincinnati Sports
Headlines are a service of Kelsey Chevrolet, home of lifetime powertrain protection and guaranteed credit approval from their family to yours for life. Kelsey Chev, Reds lost today to the Guardians 6-5. A makeup game from last night's rainout. Game 2 of the doubleheader is tonight at 7:10. Today, Chase Burns gave up 4 runs in the first. Kyle Manzardo grand slam. Reds came back to take the lead 5-4. Unfortunately, Burns gave up a run in the 5th, which we're going to talk about here in just a second. Cleveland scored the go-ahead run in the 8th. J.J. Bleday's sinking liner was snared. We'll go with snared by Angel Martinez. Nice sliding catch. Cleveland wins the first game of the series. Game 2 tonight. First game of the doubleheader and the series. Game 2 tonight. Caleb Ferguson will be first out of the gate for Cincinnati. Bullpen game. Jose Franco up from Louisville. Expectation is he pitches a large chunk of innings tonight. I guess I'm not used to these doubleheaders. I guess we can give you a starting lineup. Here it is. Ellie, Sal, who hit a home run today, drove in 3, couple of hits. Bleday is in left. Lowe is playing first. Myers in center. Marte is in right. Ivan Johnson plays second base. There was a big Edwin Arroyo error in the first inning on a play that he's got to make that certainly didn't help the cause. Trevino is catching. Ke'Bryan Hayes plays third and bats ninth. Florence Yalls are home tonight for Joliet. Bengals training camp players reported today. First practice is tomorrow. And I just saw that Denzel Ward has signed, I believe it's a 2-year contract extension. This passed on my screen right when we got back from break. But he is going to be now the highest paid cornerback in the National Football League and resets the market. And that's good news, perhaps, for a guy like DJ Turner. So there you go. In fact, I'm looking at it right now. Browns and 5-time Pro Bowl corner Denzel Ward, who, by the way, always, of course, bad matchup for the Bengals. 2 years, $62.2 million deal that includes $52.3 guaranteed, makes him the highest paid DB in NFL history for the second time in his career. Really quick following up on the last caller about Chase Burns and Tyler Stevenson. The Guardians, Jose Ramirez stole 2 bases in the 5th inning and helped them tie the game. The Guardians stole 3 bases today against that combo, and they had a runner that was thrown out. Tyler Stevenson, no catcher has had more bases stolen against him than Tyler Stevenson. Now, I like Tyler Stevenson. I don't know that it's stupid to hold him and try to sign him for next year, although there's only so much of that you can control. And he is a weapon when it comes to ABS challenges, and over the last couple of months, he has swung a really good bat. But there have been 67 successful stolen bases when Tyler Stevenson catches. Far and away more than any other catcher. For what it's worth, the league average caught stealing percentage is 29%. Which, if you go back to a couple of years ago when they started to limit disengagements and made the bases bigger, you had folks who were like, oh, now, you're never going to be able to throw anybody out. Now everybody's going to get to first and just steal 2 bases. And I haven't looked this up because I just looked up the numbers that I have during the break. But caught stealing percentage in baseball is 29%. I believe that's pretty close to where it was. It might actually be even better, closer to what it was prior to the 2023 season. The 2023 season is the first year where there was a limit on the number of pickoff throws. 29% of base stealers are caught stealing. With Tyler Stevenson, though, that number is 18%. And with Chase Burns on the mound, that number is 20%. Chase, who is awesome, it would be great if he was better at holding runners. That's not one of his strong suits. And I think that was evident in the 5th inning today, as our previous caller, John, pointed out. And Tyler Stevenson, for all of his attributes, and it feels like pitchers like throwing to him. It feels like he calls a really good game. Again, he's awesome with the ABS. He's good at handling a lot of the mechanics of playing catcher. He's not very good at throwing out opposing base stealers. Just 18%. The league average is 29. All right, Taryn, you really want me to read YouTube comments?
You can read a few of them, yeah.
A few of them? I just have them up here. I haven't sifted through them to find the best one, so I just might read all of them. But we put the show on YouTube today, and this is very much beta. This is very, very much a let's see if it sticks. Let's see if it works, sort of thing. So I do have a YouTube channel that we just put up show clips on it. It's not the most involved thing, but if you go to the Mo Egger show, I think it's just look for my name on Twitter, on YouTube, and it's there. But so you could watch, and it's on Twitter as well. We at Mo Egger. So we'll read some. All right, Taryn, here we are. The first comment came when Paul Dehner Jr. was with us for the first hour to talk about the Bengals. He wrote, Paul D. Now, see, that's what I'm looking for. That's somebody excited about somebody we have in studio. That's good. That's good. The next comment is, who, I can't say that word, day. Okay,
Not
I'm
safe
in.
for work.
Yeah, not safe for work. I love the sentiment. Who effing day? Let's go. Camp starts tomorrow. Heard Brandon Tate is Hall of Fame bound. Don't think so. Brandon Tate got a bad rap because he was the punt returner when Adam Jones was on the team. And Adam Jones was a better punt returner, but Brandon Tate returned more punts. And you didn't appreciate Brandon Tate until he left. And then there were more fumbles by the punt return guys. This guy says, you're the man, Mo. This guy says, where's my Bengals news? There's no real news today. Players reported. Everybody who needed to be there, I believe, was there. Camp starts tomorrow. Can't wait. Somebody wrote something in Spanish. Taryn, do you understand? Do you read Spanish?
Not very good.
Cincinnati is in the chat. Was good, my Cincy peeps. Who day? Oh, you're putting these up like on the screen, Taryn. Well, you could do that?
Yes.
Man. That's why I'm glad you're here. Was good, Mo? I'm watching on YouTube. Thanks.
I think these next 10 messages are from the same guy. I got Ronnie Smith.
All right.
2170.
Should we read them all? Like up, fire show. Mo, are you answering any questions from YouTube? That we can if we decide that we're going to continue doing this, that could maybe be a feature. I'm not opposed. I prefer you pick up the phone and call, but I'm aware of modern realities of how people do things now. Strawberry Ice says it's about time you guys did this. Amen to that. But this is all Taryn's. Taryn has done. He makes this happen. So yes, it's a little overdue, but our little 2-man show here, there's a lot of working parts. We have thrown just this heap of work now at Taryn in order to get this done. Strawberry Ice says, getting ready to do my show. What else do we have? Thank you, Mo, for deciding to air your show on YouTube. You are welcome. We didn't ask for permission, by the way. How big of an impact can B. Cook really be on this team? Huge impact. Because the job description of safety is in the job title. So we talked about this, I think, last week. One of the NFL writers wrote about how Brian Cook was maybe a little bit overpaid, and he probably was. And if you're looking at him through the lens of interceptions and passes defensed, maybe you're a little bit underwhelmed. But the first thing I look for in a safety, dude who could be the safety. The job description is in the position. You're the safety valve. You're the last resort. You're the guy who's supposed to make the tackle to prevent a play from turning into a big play or a touchdown. And the last 2 years, it's awesome if you have an Ed Reed. It's awesome if you have a Jesse Bates at his best. It's great if you got a guy who can pick off a bunch of passes, come up and really be a menace and run support, which I think Brian Cook can do. It's great if you can cover a lot of ground. But more than anything, can you tackle the guy? Brian Cook can tackle the guy. So relative to last year's defense, start there. How high is Brady Singer's value? Can the Reds actually make a deal that makes sense? I heard a good comparison to Brady Singer. It involves a guy that came to the Reds last year in a deal that I don't know that anybody remembers it extraordinarily fondly, but I would compare Brady Singer to Zach Littell. And I think a guy who's a reliable middle of the rotation reliever. is not insignificant. Reds gave up 2 players for Zach Littell last year. A pitcher who is pitching in the Dodgers system right now, who last year when he went to the Dodgers did really, really well. They didn't give up 2 like top 10 prospects up. They got 2 players back. I don't know. I think if you asked a lot of teams, would you like a Brady Singer in your rotation? If you're trying to get to the postseason, they would say yes. I also think you could take advantage of the fact that it's a little bit of a seller's market. There's only so many of them to be had out there. Dex is looking like the alpha tiger on this defense. And JB talk never gets bored. A lot of damn comments. I'm ready for dinner with you and your friend Joey B again. Thanks for reading my question. Ron from Arizona in the house. Mo, who is your favorite obscure Red of all time? He says, I'll go first. Hal Morris. Hal Morris is not an obscure Red. Like, Hal Morris was here for a decade. It was, I think he got most of the starts in 1990 at first base. Everybody remembers Todd Benzinger catching the last out of the World Series. Like Hal Morris played in over 1,000 games as a member of the Reds. He got Rookie of the Year consideration in 1990. Like, he's not an obscure Red. I played 13 big league seasons, 10 of them in Cincinnati, and was the starting first baseman on a team that went to the World Series and won the World Series. Like, nah, man, that's not an obscure Red. I think Benzinger, I guess. Benzinger played 118 games. Morris, 107. Morris's WAR that year was 1.8. Benzinger, minus 1.6. Anyway, Hal Morris is not an obscure. My favorite all-time obscure Red is Willie Bloomquist. Traded to the Reds from Arizona right before, it was at some point in September because he wasn't eligible for the postseason roster. You have to be on the team on September 1st, or you could play for the rest of the regular season, but you're not eligible for the postseason roster. And so the Reds got Willie Bloomquist. And that year, like, they had gotten Jim Edmonds and he got hurt. And I think there was one other player who suffered an injury who might have been a backup outfielder. And so they wanted like one more outfielder for the stretch drive. And they got Willie Bloomquist. And so Willie Bloomquist played in a handful of games. He started the hangover night, which was the day after Clinchmas 2010. One of my favorite all-time Reds games to go to. I went to Clinchmas, but I also went to hangover night. And Willie Bloomquist started in right field. But we sort of jokingly said to the Reds, like, you're in the postseason. Can we get Willie Bloomquist on to break down the games? And Willie Bloomquist, who I think is still the baseball coach at Arizona State, surprisingly was like, yeah. And so the Reds' stay in the postseason was very brief. They played 3 games. They lost all 3. Game 1 was on a Wednesday. Game 2 was on a Friday. Game 3 was on a Sunday. And he came on with us the day after Game 1 when they got no hit, right before Game 2, which they blew because a bunch of good fielders couldn't field. And then he came on with us the day after Game 3 when they got beat by Cole Hamels, 2 hit by Cole Hamels. And then we never heard from him again. And he had been with the team for like 3 weeks and yet offered great insight into his teammates. So my favorite all-time obscure Red is Willie Bloomquist. So there you go. See, I was going to devote that time to saying some of the same old stuff about Joe Burrow and expanding on my Spencer Steer take. But you know what? We have those in our back pocket for tomorrow. Don't forget, anything you might have missed, you can go find on the iHeartRadio app. Podcasts of this show are a service of Long Necks. Now I've got to tell people to subscribe to the YouTube channel. So go do that, please. And join us tomorrow for a training camp. 10 till noon, Tony and Mo training camp show on ESPN 1530. Then back here in studio at 3 after Cincy 360. We are done. Thanks to Taryn Bland for producing. Thanks to you for listening and watching. Have a great night. This is ESPN 1530, Cincinnati Sports Station.
Cincinnati's ESPN 1530. Traffic.
From the UC Health Traffic Center.